This is the story of a man who has been reincarnated due to extreme frustration from his previous life. And he wants to live this life comfortably. And he was living his life comfortably. But one day the system appears in front of him. And it demands that the protagonist should bond with it. But the protagonist refuses because he wanted to live his life comfortably, and he did not want to decline any request of the system. But the system appears in front of him again and tries to convince the protagonist again and again to bond with it, but the protagonist refuses it again and again. So rude. And the system upgrades itself after hearing the rejection again and again. And now it becomes an invisible system, which can separate heaven and earth. And it can even fight with God. And it has such power that it can destroy the world. And then the protagonist accepts this system, and starts bending with it. But the cultivation world does not let the protagonist even breathe, and continues to trouble him every time. And the protagonist wants to live a comfortable life. But no one lets him relax, so let's see what has happened in this story that the protagonist cannot relax. On a beautiful day, under the beautiful mountains, the protagonist of this story is relaxing under the shade of a tree while drinking. And he is very happy with his life and he says, no need to cultivate, no need to fight in the palace, and I even have an establishment. Life after transmigrating is quite relaxing. But suddenly the system appears in front of the protagonist and says to him, host, I am your system spirit. Please bind with me immediately to start your system tasks. But the protagonist turns his face away from the system and says to the system, no, get lost. And the system is surprised to hear the rejection of the protagonist and asks the protagonist, why reject me? I can help you dominate the cultivation world. So the protagonist replies to the system, I know the nature of your type of systems. You seem impressive, but in reality, it's all about endless grinding with all sorts of pies * making people sick. In my previous life, I died from overwork. Now that I've transmigrated, you want me to work for a system again? No way. But the system politely says to the protagonist, please give me a chance. I'll work hard to improve, and the protagonist says working is out of the question. I'll never work again in this life. Then the system thinks, is the host rejecting me because I'm not working hard enough? No, I must become stronger. Then the system goes to upgrade itself. By the way, the name of the protagonist is Wang Yang. Then after a few days, when Wang Yang is in the toilet, the system appears again in front of him and says to Wang Yang, the strongest cheating system has been updated. The newbie task only requires you to hit your head against a wall. Host, hurry and bind with me. But even now Wang Yang refuses the system and says to it, no, I'm afraid of pain. Go find someone else. Wang Yang also thinks about the system, I can't even have peace while taking a dump, this system is too annoying. Then after a few days, when Wang Yang was having lunch, the system appeared again and said to Wang Yang, the system has been upgraded as the check-in system. Check in at the gate of the Spirit Sword sect and receive exclusive rewards. Host, hurry and bind with me. But this time Wang Yang also rejects the system and says to it, no, how is that any different from clocking in at work? And the system gets upset on Wang Yang rejecting it again and she says, why am I always rejected? It must be because I'm not working hard enough. After a few days the system again comes to Wang Yang, but before the system can say anything, Wang Yang stops the system and says to her, I don't want to hear it. But this time the system had a lot of hope that Wang Yang would accept her, and so she very humbly tells Wang Yang, host, the system has been upgraded to the ultimate lying flat invincible system. Once you bind with me, you'll receive tons of rewards. And Wang Yang was going to refuse the system this time too, but when he hears that now the system has become an ultimate lying flat invincible system, he gets surprised and he asks the system, what? A lying flat system? So the system explains to Wang Yang and tells him, the ultimate lie flat invincible system. Host, after binding with me, you'll be invincible in the cultivation world just by lying flat. And Wang Yang asks the system, invincible while lying flat? Sounds impressive. You're not just trying to trick me into binding then slaughter me like a fat pig, are you? And the system promises Wang Yang and says, I swear, if I deceive you, I'll crash due to a bug. And Wang Yang, seeing the honesty of the system, thinks, this system seems pretty sincere. Maybe I should give it a try. And now Wang Yang gets ready to bind with the system and says to the system, Alright, I'll trust you with this once. Then the system starts the binding process. And in a short while the binding becomes successful and the system says to Wang Yang, "Congratulations, host, on successfully binding the system. You've received your first reward, the Emperor's potential, mortal to Emperor initial stage." And dangerous power starts flowing inside Wang Yang and Wang Yang shouts, "What? I've jumped straight from mortal to an Emperor realm?" And now the system looks very up and she tells Wang Yang, the detected host is breathing, and immediately receives a realm breakthrough reward and one primordial Dao fruit. Emperor initial stage to Emperor second stage. And now Wang Yang is very happy to feel his increased power, and he says, "Whoa! Just breathing can break through realms? This really is an invincible lying flat system. Since I'm already at Emperor second stage, I'll stop pretending." And a dangerous energy starts going up, tearing the sky, which can be seen from a very far distance. And due to this energy, a very dangerous pressure starts being felt at every place, feeling which everyone gets very shocked. And they don't understand what is happening here right now. Then we see two people and one of them says, this shaking, what on earth is happening? Could it be that our spirit sword sect is about to face a great disaster? And the other guy says, immediately ring the 9-ring soul summoning bell and gather all the elders to the main hall for a meeting. This power. Could it be a new emperor has been born? This power is too shocking. The last time this happened was 500 years ago. Quickly investigate which sect or school this new emperor belongs to. Then the scene shifts to Xuanji Palace, Great Qing Dynasty. And someone says, "I have glimpsed the heavenly secrets. Quickly report to the empress." After some time, Wang Yang is sitting at a place. His power and cultivation has definitely increased, but he is a little sad and he says, "If only things had been this smooth in my previous life. I lived 26 years without even holding a girl's hand." And as soon as the system knows the reason for Wang Yang's sadness, it says to Wang Yang, detected that the host wants to find a Dao partner, displaying available targets now. And Wang Yang gets a little surprised and asks the system, "What? Can the Tangping invincible system even help with this?" So the system tells Wang Yang, "Host, the system has filtered the most suitable targets for you. Please choose." And the system shows Wang Yang some beautiful ladies' photos and Wang Yang looks at those ladies and says this, "Let's not even talk about which one to choose, I still have to conquer them myself, that's too much work." And the system says, "Host, don't forget to claim your reward for the Dao partner quest." And Wang Yang says, "Wait, I haven't even started pursuing anyone yet, why is there already a reward?" And the system tells Wang Yang, the Empress of the Great Qing Dynasty, Yilin Lang, requests an audience with Emperor Wang Yang. And Wang Yang gets a little surprised to hear the system's words, but he is also happy. And he gives a thumbs up to the system and says to her, "Not bad, system dog. It's actually delivering my wife right to my door." And the system gets happy and she says, "Of course. I'm the ultimate Tangping invincible system." Then the scene shifts. And inside a hall many elders are sitting and one man says, "The Empress of the Great Qing Dynasty, who conquered 6 nations, is personally coming. What's going on here?" And Qingyao says, "Is this Emperor Wang Yang really in the Spirit Sword sect? I've never heard of him." And Changfeng says, "I haven't heard of anyone named Wang Yang either. What's going on?" Then the sect leader says, "Elder Bai Fang, has the sect ever had an elder named Wang Yang?" So the elder says, "Never heard of him. I've read through the sect's records. There's definitely no one named Wang Yang." And the other elder says, "Wang Yang. I think there's an unregistered disciple by that name at the sword cleansing pool." But then Changfeng remembers something and says, "Wait, I remember now. Our founding ancestor once had a master surnamed Wang." And as soon as everyone hears Changfeng's words, they get a little surprised. But then an elder stands up and says, "That's right. This Wang Yang must be our true founding ancestor. He's been hiding his identity and protecting the Spirit Sword sect until now." Then the sect leader stands up and he goes to Wang Yang to meet him and he says, "Changfeng, go welcome the Empress. The rest follow me to the sword cleansing pool to greet our ancestor on our knees." After some time, all of them reach Wang Yang and greet him by kneeling down in front of Wang Yang and say, "Greetings, founding ancestor." But Wang Yang gets a little confused and he asks the system, "Is this also a system reward?" But the system says, "This is spontaneous behavior, unrelated to the system." And Wang Yang thinks, in that case, let's just go with the flow. Then Wang Yang smilingly says to them, "Rise, no need to be so formal." Then the sect leader says to Wang Yang, "Ancestral master, the empress of the great Qing dynasty seeks an audience with you. What could be the reason?" So Wang Yang replies to them and says, "Oh, she's probably here to propose marriage." And as soon as they hear this, they get a little surprised and Qingyao says, "Marriage proposal? How? How is that possible?" And the elder says, "This news is too shocking, did we hear it wrong? An empress coming to propose marriage, this has never happened in history." Then Wang Yang tells them, "Since the empress is here, I should personally go greet her." On the other hand, the empress is sitting inside the hall and waiting for Wang Yang. Then she says, "Could it be that Emperor Wang Yang refuses to see me?" And on hearing the empress's words, Chang Feng gets a little nervous and he says, "The founding ancestor, Wang Yang, is meditating at the back mountain. Please, your majesty, wait a moment." And then Wang Yang enters the hall with those people, and on seeing Wang Yang, the empress thinks his aura and attire don't resemble the legendary emperor at all. Could it be that the royal advisor's prophecy was wrong? By the way, the empress's name is Yi Linlang. Then Wang Yang looks at Yi Linlang and Yi Linlang is staring at Wang Yang, and realizing this Wang Yang thinks, "Oh no, I totally forgot to change before meeting her." And Wang Yang says to the system, "Quickly give me a set of impressive equipment, I need to improve my image." And Wang Yang just had to say this, and the system fulfills Wang Yang's wish and says, "Completed the meeting task. You've received the Imperial Dragon Armor Set. Successfully equipped the Imperial Dragon Armor Set, activating the set's effects." And now Wang Yang's appearance has completely changed, seeing which Qingyao starts smiling and she thinks, This is the true aura of an emperor, absolutely overwhelming." And the elder starts crying and says, "I never thought our spirit sword sect would ever have an emperor realm expert." And Yi Linlang also gets surprised by feeling Wang Yang's power, and she thinks, "This Wang Yang is indeed an emperor, and his realm is much higher than mine." And then Yi Linlang bows in front of Wang Yang and says to him, "Emperor Wang Yang, I am Yi Linlang, I humbly beg you to save our great Qing dynasty." And Qingyao is surprised to hear Yi Linlang's request, and she thinks, Is this really the same empress who conquered the 6 nations? And Wang Yang extends his hand towards Yi Linlang and says to her, "Please rise. I understand your difficulties, but I've lived in seclusion for years, wishing to avoid worldly affairs." And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, "As long as Emperor Wang Yang can save the great Qing dynasty, I will agree to any condition." And when the sect leader hears Yi Linlang's words, he is surprised and he thinks, "Any condition? The empress is making such a great sacrifice." And Wang Yang gets a little confused. Then Yi Linlang says, "If Emperor Wang Yang does not mind, I am willing to offer myself to you." And on hearing this, the elder gets very shocked, and the sect leader says, "The empress offering herself. This is major news in the cultivation world." And Wang Yang thinks, although I'm tempted by the empress's offer, wouldn't accepting her bring countless troubles? Then the system tells Wang Yang, "Master, Empress Yi Linlang possesses the extremely rare immortal phoenix physique." So Wang Yang says, "System, is there something special about that?" And the system tells, if a cultivator engages in dual cultivation with someone possessing the immortal phoenix physique, they can instantly advance an entire realm. And after listening to the system, Wang Yang starts thinking about something. And Yi Linlang looks at Wang Yang and thinks, "With great risk comes great reward." Then Yi Linlang takes an oath and says, "I hereby swear an oath to the heavenly Tao, if I go back on my word, may heaven's wrath kill me and destroy my soul." And Yi Linlang thinks, besides, Wang Yang is quite talented. I'll have to make this sacrifice. Then Wang Yang says, "If that's the case, then please lead the way, Empress." But Wang Yang is happy inside and he thinks, getting an empress as a wife for free, where else can you find a deal like this? Then Yi Linlang and her soldiers kneel down in front of Wang Yang, and Yi Linlang says, "On behalf of the billions of citizens of the great Qing dynasty, I thank Emperor Wang Yang." The sect leader gets a little nervous and says to Wang Yang, "Ancestor Master, the sword spirit sect cannot survive without you. If enemies take advantage of this, it will be catastrophic. Please reconsider." But the system has a solution for this, and the system tells Wang Yang, detected that the sect master is requesting assistance from the host. Congratulations, the host has obtained the Imperial Grade Sect Array formation. 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array. And Wang Yang gets happy on hearing the reward of the system, and he thinks this system is really generous, giving another imperial grade array formation. Then Wang Yang extends his hand and he has a small spiritual sword in his hand, seeing which the sect leader gets a little surprised and he asks Wang Yang, Ancestor Master, this formation. But before the sect leader can complete his sentence, Wang Yang tells him, this is the 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array. Once activated, it will ensure the sect's safety. Then Wang Yang activates the sword array, due to which all the swords go above the sect and many swords form a colon. And an array formation is formed above the whole sect, seeing which everyone gets very shocked and they say, this is an imperial grade sect formation. Our sword spirit sect will rise to greatness. Ancestor Master's abilities are truly beyond imagination. Ancestor Master's abilities are truly beyond imagination. And Yi Linlang is also surprised to see the sword array formation and she thinks, this 9 Heaven Spirit Sword Array is even stronger than my Imperial Defense Array. The Sword Spirit Sect's foundation is truly impressive. Then Qingyao bows in front of Wang Yang and says to him, Ancestor Master, please allow me, Qingyao, to serve by your side. And Wang Yang starts looking at Yi Linlang and he thinks, another one throwing herself at me? This is becoming a romance battlefield. Isn't this making the game more difficult? Then the system tells Wang Yang, congratulations, Master, Lu Qingyao possesses the rare Spirit Resonance Physique that appears once in 10,000 years. And Wang Yang asks the system, now, what's so special about this Spirit Resonance Physique? And the system happily tells Wang Yang, a person with this sacred body is loyal, reliable, attentive, and shares a deep connection with their master. And Wang Yang gets happy and he says, doesn't that sound exactly like a maid's sacred body? And the system says, as expected of you, host, your assessment is spot on. Then Wang Yang says to Qingyao, from now on, you'll stay by my side. And Qingyao becomes happy and she thanks Wang Yang. But Wang Yang also has an advantage in this and he thinks, having a maid around isn't bad at all. And the sect leader also becomes very happy for Qingyao and he thinks, the ancestral master still values old relationships. With this, Qingyao's future will be limitless. Then Yi Linlang asks the soldier, where is the Phoenix Chariot? And then the Phoenix Chariot appears in front of them. This is the legendary immortal grade vehicle, the Rainbow Phoenix Chariot. That's a treasure on par with an Emperor grade item, and seeing the Phoenix Chariot, Wang Yang thinks, the treasures of the cultivation world are truly beautiful. Sigh, come to think of it, I never even bought a car in my past life. And as soon as Wang Yang thinks this, the system tells Wang Yang, I detected that the host desires a vehicle. Congratulations, host, you've received the Emperor Grade Chariot, the 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot. And after Wang Yang gets a new chariot, Wang Yang says, since the situation is urgent, why don't we ride in my chariot? And Qingyao says, you're absolutely right, but... And she thinks the Rainbow Phoenix Chariot is already a rare sight in the world. I wonder what kind of treasure your chariot is, Ancestral Master. Then Wang Yang asks his 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot to appear, and as soon as Wang Yang says this, the 6th Dragon Imperial Chariot appears in front of him. And there are 2 charioteers with him, who drive this chariot. Then those charioteers come in front of Wang Yang and greet him. And as soon as the sect leader and all the elders see Wang Yang's legendary chariot, they get very shocked. And all of them cannot believe that they can see such a chariot in their life, and they say, This is the legendary Emperor Grade Chariot. Then Wang Yang asks Yi Linlang to sit in the chariot, and Yi Linlang thanks Wang Yang. Then all 3 of them sit in the chariot, and Wang Yang gives orders and says, depart to the Great Qing Dynasty. And everyone bids farewell to Wang Yang. After this we see, Great Qing Dynasty's Imperial Defense Array. And many disciples are trying to maintain the array formation together, but now it is becoming very difficult for them, and one disciple says to Grand Advisor, I can't hold on much longer, and Grand Advisor says to all of them, everyone, calm your minds, even if it means depleting your cultivation, hold on until His Majesty returns. Then we see some people, they are very scared and they are trying to run away from here. But then there is a huge explosion, and we see 2 people trying to break the array formation. And the black-haired man, Xuanyue's 4 generals Song Tie. And the red-haired man, Xuanyue's 4 generals Jiang Yingqi. And Jiang Yingqi says, this formation looks weak, yet we can't break it. It's really frustrating. And Song Tie says, I didn't expect the Empress to have such formidable tactics. And Jiang Yunqi asks Song Tie, why do you say that? So Song Tie says she's reduced the defense range to just the capital's outskirts, which strengthens the imperial defense array. You keep attacking the array, I'll handle the rest. And Song Tie takes out a dangerous spear. And Jiang Yunqi agrees to Song Tie and he starts moving forward. Then we see Grand Advisor who is having a lot of trouble maintaining the array formation and she thinks, Your Majesty, I'm sorry, this is as far as I can hold. And then Song Tie attacks Dragon Ascension with his spear, which starts moving very fast towards the array formation. But then someone destroys Song Tie's attack and both of them are surprised and Jiang Yunqi thinks, whose sword aura is this? And when they look towards the sky, there is someone in the sky and the one who stops Song Tie's attack is Wang Yang. And seeing Wang Yang, both of them get angry and Jiang Yunqi says to Wang Yang, who dares meddle in our affairs? And Song Tie looks at Wang Yang's chariot and thinks, 6 dragons pulling a chariot, this person must have a powerful background. Then he asks Wang Yang, may I ask who you are? And Yi Linlang tells them both, Song Tie, this is Emperor Wang Yang of the Spirit Sword sect. And listening to Yi Linlang, Jiang Yunqi says, Spirit Sword sect? Never heard of it. Must be some small, third-rate sect from the countryside. And hearing Jiang Yunqi's words, Qing Yao gets angry and she says to Jiang Yunqi, how dare you insult the Spirit Sword sect? But Jiang Yunqi says to Qing Yao, a mere brat at the nascent soul stage, you have no right to speak before those at the Emperor's realm. And then the system says to Wang Yang, due to your sect being insulted, host has been awarded the Saint-grade martial art, Heaven and Earth Star Technique. And Wang Yang says to both of them, how about you two do me a favor today? And as soon as Jiang Yunqi hears Wang Yang's words, he gets angry and says, who do you think you are to even talk about favor with us, the Xianhua dynasty? But Song Tie tells Jiang Yunqi to keep calm. Then he says to Wang Yang, fellow cultivator, we are under orders to bring back Empress Yi Linlang. Please do not interfere in this matter. And Wang Yang smilingly says to Song Tie, what if I refuse? And the system says to Wang Yang, due to the host's rising killing intent, Heaven and Earth Star Technique has instantly reached its peak mastery. And Song Tie replies to Wang Yang and says, then don't blame us for being merciless. Then Wang Yang says to the system, stupid system, what does the Heaven and Earth Star Technique do? So the system tells Wang Yang, the Heaven and Earth Star Technique can absorb attacks of the same realm, and then reflect them back with double power. And on hearing this, a smile comes on Wang Yang's face. Then he says to both of them, you're not even worthy of me making a move. I'll stand here and let you have 3 moves. If you can hurt me, you can do whatever you want with the Empress. And on hearing Wang Yang's words, both of them get surprised. Then Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, Emperor Wang Yang, what are you doing? And Qing Yao says, Ancestral Master, don't be so reckless. These two are really strong. And Wang Yang says to both of them, don't worry, they can't hurt me. And Jiang Yunqi becomes happy after hearing Wang Yang's words. Then he activates his power and says, if you can take 3 punches from me, we'll turn back and leave. And Wang Yang tells Jiang Yunqi to go ahead. Then Jiang Yunqi hits a dangerous fist on Wang Yang. But before Wang Yang could hit him, his fist started melting. And Jiang Yunqi was shocked to see this and he thought, 90% of my power disappeared like a clay ox entering the sea, this guy's got some skills. And Jiang Yunqi came close to Wang Yang to hit him with his second fist, Terrifying God Fist, third form Void Shattering Dragon Fist, and just as Jiang Yunqi's fist was about to hit Wang Yang, a barrier appeared in front of Wang Yang, and Wang Yang easily stopped Jiang Yunqi's fist. And Wang Yang smilingly said to Jiang Yunqi, is your so-called Emperor Realm status just for boasting? And after listening to Wang Yang, Jiang Yunqi gets very angry and he is about to use a dangerous technique for the third attack, seeing which Song Tie tries to stop him and says, Brother Jiang, don't use that move. But now it is too late, and a demon body appears behind Jiang Yunqi and Jiang Yunqi is about to attack Wang Yang with Heavenly King Incantation Divine Buddha Palm. And Wang Yang gets ready to stop his fist, and he also activates his technique, Heaven and Earth Star Technique Heaven and Earth Dharma Body. Then Jiang Yunqi attacks Wang Yang, seeing which Qing Yao gets scared and she says, Ancestral Master is too powerful. And Yi Linlang says, he actually took a full power attack from an Emperor's Dharma body. Could his strength be beyond the Emperor realm? Then Wang Yang uses Heaven and Earth Star Technique and moves his hand forward. And very easily Wang Yang reverses Jiang Yunqi's attack, due to which blood starts coming out of Jiang Yunqi's mouth and he gets very badly injured. And then Song Tie catches Jiang Yunqi and Jiang Yunqi says, "Damn it, this guy is definitely using some dirty trick. I refuse to accept this. Let me try 3 more punches." But Song Tie says to Jiang Yunqi, "Brother Jiang, don't be rash, your body has already been damaged." And Wang Yang comes in front of them, and he says to Song Tie, "Since he's done, why don't you give it a try?" But Song Tie is scared of Wang Yang and he says, "Thank you, fellow cultivator, for showing mercy just now. We will keep our word and leave." And he says farewell and leaves very fast, and the 3 of them are just watching them leaving. Then Qingyao says to Wang Yang, "Ancestral Master, are you hurt?" Then Wang Yang says, "Don't worry, I'm fine." And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, "That technique just now was truly amazing." And Wang Yang says it was nothing special. Then Yi Linlang says, "Today, the great Qing dynasty is indebted to Emperor Wang Yang's kindness. I am deeply grateful. We'll host a banquet at the Imperial Palace later. I hope you both can honor us with your presence." And Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, "Since it's the Empress's invitation, I won't decline." After some time, Yi Linlang comes to the people of her sect, and they are very happy to see Yi Linlang. Then Yi Linlang introduces Wang Yang to her sect members and says, "This is Emperor Wang Yang from the Spirit Sword sect, and he will also soon be crowned as the sovereign of our great Qing dynasty." And as soon as the elders hear that Wang Yang is the sovereign, they get very shocked, but they all bow down in front of Wang Yang and say, "Greetings, your majesty, long live the king, long live, long live." And Wang Yang asks the system, "Wait, what exactly is the position of the sovereign?" And the system tells Wang Yang, "Congratulations, master, for accepting the worship of the great Qing dynasty's people. You've gained merit points." And as soon as Wang Yang hears about merit points from the system, he gets very angry and he catches hold of the system and says to it, "What are merit points? Did you secretly add some kind of mission system without telling me? Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll immediately unbind you." And the system is telling Wang Yang, "No. There isn't, absolutely not." And Wang Yang says to the system, "Stupid system, what's this merit point? Regular cultivation worlds don't have this." And the system says, "Host, please calm down, I'll explain everything clearly." Then Wang Yang releases the system, and the system says to Wang Yang, "Ahem, merit points are generated by the admiration and worship of others. Doing good deeds, saving lives, or serving the country can all earn you merit." And Wang Yang says, "So being a good person makes one stronger? Then why bother cultivating?" And the system says, "Gathering a vast amount of wishes isn't easy, but kings and high officials who are respected can earn merit quickly. Once you use merit to form a merit dharma body, you can be as powerful as the nascent soul realm from the start." And Wang Yang looking at Yi Linlang says, "I see. So that means the Empress cultivates through the merit dharma body." And the system says, "No, the Empress is a rare dual cultivator." And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, "Emperor Wang Yang, what's the matter? Don't you like the capital?" So Wang Yang says, No, I just remembered something from the past." And Wang Yang thinks, this Empress Yi Linlang's value keeps increasing. Then they move forward, and as they move forward, all the citizens bow in front of them and greet them. And one man says, "Is that the mysterious expert who saved the capital? He really has an immortal aura." And Qingyao smilingly thinks, "The ancestral master is so handsome, I must stay by his side, even if just as a maid." And as they move forward, they reach near the sect. And all the elders greet them and say, "Congratulations to the Empress on returning victorious." And Yi Linlang says, "It's all thanks to Emperor Wang Yang. Someone, prepare the grandest banquet to entertain our guests." Then Yi Linlang asks an elder, "Why haven't I seen the Grand Advisor welcome me?" So the elder tells the Grand Advisor, "Couldn't come. To protect the national array, she used her life force and now. And as soon as Yi Linlang hears that Grand Advisor is injured, she gets angry at the elder and she says, "Why wasn't I told earlier? Where is the Grand Advisor now?" So the elder says, "The Grand Advisor has been sent back to the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion." And Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, "Empress, why don't we go visit the Grand Advisor first?" And Yi Linlang says, "Sorry, I lost my composure just now, please forgive me." Then we see Grand Advisor who is injured and resting on the bed, and the disciples are very worried for Grand Advisor, and they say, "Master, you can't be hurt. Master, don't leave us behind. And Yi Linlang and Wang Yang come to meet the Grand Advisor, and Yi Linlang says, "Master, your disciple came too late." And Grand Advisor says, "How many times do I have to say it? Call me the Grand Advisor in public." And Wang Yang, seeing Grand Advisor's bad condition, thinks, "Such a beautiful woman, about to die like this, what a pity." And Grand Advisor says to Wang Yang, "Thank you, Senior, for saving Linlang and the entire Great Qing dynasty." And Wang Yang says it was nothing. And Yi Linlang says, "Quickly summon the immortal doctor to heal the Grand Advisor." But Grand Advisor says there's no need. In my current condition, only the 9-cycle rebirth pill from the upper immortal realm can save me. Don't waste your efforts. And then the system tells Wang Yang, detecting someone needs treatment. Host has received 1 supreme grade 9-cycle rebirth pill. And Wang Yang thinks, "Stupid system, you're really dragging me into karma. Should I keep this pill, or save a life now?" And Wang Yang tells Yi Linlang, "Empress, don't be sad, I happen to have a 9-cycle rebirth pill." And Wang Yang thinks, saving a life comes first. It'd be a shame if such a beauty died. And Yi Linlang gets a little surprised seeing the pill, and she says to Wang Yang, "This is too valuable." Thank you, Emperor Wang Yang." And Grand Advisor's disciples say to Wang Yang, "Thanks to the immortal Lord, Master is saved." Then Yi Linlang feeds the pill to Grand Advisor, due to which Grand Advisor's whole body starts recovering, and she has made a breakthrough to a new level. And seeing this, Wang Yang thinks, this 9-cycle rebirth pill even has special effects, no wonder it's only found in the upper immortal realm. And Yi Linlang asks Grand Advisor, "Master, did you just break through a new realm?" And Grand Advisor says to Wang Yang, "Thanks to the Senior's bestowed medicine, not only are my injuries healed, I've broken through to the middle stage of the immortal king realm." And Wang Yang smilingly says, "It's a trivial matter, nothing worth mentioning." And then a servant comes and says, "Empress, the banquet is ready." And Yi Linlang says, "Emperor Wang Yang, please join us." And Wang Yang says, "Well, I won't refuse." After some time, in the banquet party, everyone is celebrating their victory and watching the girls dance. And 2 people bring a pot full of wine and serve it to Wang Yang. And Wang Yang looks at the alcohol and thinks, "I haven't drunk alcohol since transmigrating. I wonder how strong it is." And as soon as the system hears Wang Yang's Manki bot, it tells Wang Yang, the detected host is about to drink alcohol, immediately receiving the Imperial Grade Technique Wine Chi Dragon Technique. And a screen opens in front of Wang Yang and the system says, "Wine Chi Dragon Technique converts alcohol, medicine potency, or poison into true Qi, greatly enhancing body reaction speed." And Wang Yang becomes happy and he thinks, "Haha, now I can eat or drink anything without worry." Then Yi Linlang stands up and picks up the cup and says, "This first cup of wine is from me and the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion," thanking Emperor Wang Yang for the pill that saved the Grand Advisor. Then she drinks and she again picks up the cup and says, "This second cup, I drink on behalf of every citizen of the Great Qing dynasty, to thank Emperor Wang Yang for saving the dynasty." To Emperor Wang Yang. This third cup of wine, I toast once more to Emperor Wang Yang. From now on, you will be the sovereign of our Great Qing dynasty. And as soon as the elders hear Yi Linglang's words, they get very shocked and say, "What, sovereign? Does that mean this? This is too sudden." And another elder says, "With this, the Great Qing dynasty will have 2 emperor realm experts, who would dare look down on us in the future." But Yi Linlang says, "Silence. I will have the Grand Advisor choose an auspicious date for my wedding with Emperor Wang Yang." But then Qingyao says to Yi Linlang, "Your Majesty, this is a major event. It cannot be rushed." And after listening to Qingyao, Yi Linlang gets angry and says, "I have made a heavenly oath to marry none but Emperor Wang Yang. What right do you, a mere junior, have to oppose?" And Qingyao says, "I'm not opposing your marriage to the ancestral master, but marriage requires proper rituals and ceremonies. If the Great Qing dynasty handles everything, wouldn't it seem like the Spirit Sword sect is neglecting the ancestral master?" And after listening to their argument, Wang Yang gets a little surprised and thinks, watching beauties argue is quite entertaining. This trip was worth it. And then the system tells Wang Yang, detected that the host is about to get married, issuing a special wedding reward. And Wang Yang tells the system, "Shut up. The wedding isn't even confirmed yet. Why are you rushing this?" And then a man comes out of the sect and shouts loudly and says, "Hearing that a great expert has come to Great Qing dynasty, Left Minister Qi Wenyuan of Xianhua dynasty has come for a meeting. And as soon as they hear the minister's words, everyone gets very shocked and says, "What? It's Left Minister Qin Wenyan. Why is he here?" And Yi Linlang gets very shocked and she says, "I never expected they'd even send the Left Minister Qin Wenyan. It seems like heaven itself is against the Qing dynasty." And the entire banquet party goes silent. Then Wang Yang says, "Who exactly is this Left Minister Qin Wenyan?" Then Qin Yao says, "The Xianyu dynasty has stood for 1,000 years. Currently, they have 1 emperor, 2 ministers, and 4 generals, totaling 7 emperor realm experts. This Qi Wenyuan is one of the 2 ministers, the left minister." And Wang Yang says, "Since he's just at the emperor level, why are you all so panicked?" Then Yi Linlang says, "This left minister Qi Wenyuan isn't terrifying because of his strength, but because he's Xianhua dynasty's #1 strategist. He's a master of planning, always flawless in his schemes. He can destroy nations or save them with just a thought." And Wang Yang asks the system, "What realm is this Qi Wenyuan at?" So the system tells Wang Yang, "I'm sorry, host, he's not within detection range. I cannot provide accurate information." And Wang Yang tells the system, "Then step back for now. I'm sure we'll meet this Qin Wenyan soon enough." And the minister again says, "What, perhaps this expert doesn't want to meet me, or do you think I'm beneath you?" And Yi Linlang tells Wang Yang, "Emperor Wang Yang, please leave quickly. Don't get involved with Great Qing's worldly affairs any longer. I fear I can only repay today's debt in my next life." And Qin Yao says, "Your Majesty, you mustn't. If you fulfill their wishes, Great Qing dynasty's millions of citizens will fall into an endless abyss of suffering. Ancestral Master, this Xianhua dynasty is really not to be trifled with. Why don't we return to Spirit Sword sect?" And Wang Yang says, "I've barely had 2 drinks, and someone's already here to cause trouble. This is intolerable." And Wang Yang says, "Empress, why don't?" And Qin Yao bows down in front of Wang Yang and says, "Sovereign Wang Yang truly has compassion for all. Our great Qing dynasty is in dire straits." And everyone bows down in front of Wang Yang and says, "Sovereign Wang Yang's benevolence is unmatched, truly a blessing for the great Qing dynasty and its people." And Wang Yang thinks, "Damn, I was too slow. Gu Linhua stole the spotlight." Then Yi Linlang says, "Emperor Wang Yang is the great Qing dynasty's esteemed guest. How can you force him to fight for us?" And Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, "Empress, don't be angry. A mere left minister is no challenge for me. I'll be back soon." And Yi Linlang says smilingly, "This favor is something we can never repay. We can only quietly await Emperor Wang Yang's triumphant return." Then we see the minister who is in the air above the sect and he says, "It seems the great Qing dynasty prefers to drink punishment wine instead of a peaceful toast." Wenyuan's artistic technique, harmony thunderblast. But then Wang Yang comes in front of the minister and says to him, "Fellow Taoist, please hold." And Wang Yang stands smiling above the array formation. And Minister Qin Wenyan asks Wang Yang, "Are you that Emperor Wang Yang?" Wang Yang says, "I'm just a wandering cultivator, hardly worthy of the left minister's attention." And Minister Qin Wenyan thinks he shattered Jiang Yun's formidable physique in one strike, yet remains so modest. Clearly, he's not one to be underestimated. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Sir Wang Yang is truly modest. If you came to our Xianhua dynasty, your position would be no lower than mine." And Wang Yang says, "I'm just a simple man from the mountains, unfit for high office and wealth. Sir Qi, as a reasonable person, allow me to advise you, Xianhua and Great Qing need not harm their relations." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Empress Yi Linlang slaughtered excessively in conquering 6 nations. We're merely upholding justice." And Wang Yang says, "Though uniting 6 nations was done with force, there has been peace ever since. This is a great virtue." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Brother Wang is quite silver-tongued. But today I, Qi Wenyuan, am here under orders and must take Yi Linlang back." And Wang Yang says, "I respect you, Mr. Qi. Let's just enjoy our conversation today and avoid conflict." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "Brother Wang, conflict between nations is inevitable. Or do you have another solution in mind?" And Wang Yang says, "A gentleman's battle need not always be with swords. It can also be won with words." And Minister Qin Wenyan says, "A battle of words then? But don't say I'm unfair if I win." And Wang Yang thinks, "Cultural duel with me? I'll use the boundless poetry of China to defeat you. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, let's make it a wager. If you win, I won't pursue Yi Linlang any further. And Wang Yang gets surprised seeing that thing and he thinks, wait a moment. He's not playing by the rules. I don't even know how to play Go. And then the system says to Wang Yang, system detected that the host is preparing to play Go. Activating AlphaGo system. And Wang Yang says to the system, wait, stupid system, is this AlphaGo the same Go playing AI from Earth? And the system tells Wang Yang, it's authentic, and it's the latest upgraded version. It can win against the world's top Go players even with a 3-stone handicap. And Wang Yang becomes very happy after listening to the system and he says, 3-stone handicap? Then my Go skills can dominate this world. Then Wang Yang tells Minister Qin Wenyan, if that's the case, I accept. Sir Qi, please make your move. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, Brother Wang, are you really giving me the first move? But Wang Yang says, who said it's just the first move? I'll give you 2. And Minister Qin Wenyan gets surprised on hearing Wang Yang's words and he says, Brother Wang, are you insulting me? My Go skills are renowned throughout the kingdoms. But Wang Yang says, a gentleman's word cannot be taken back. If Sir Qi wins, I'll accept any punishment. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, if I lose, this Moyun Tianzu sword is yours, and I'll leave immediately. And the system tells Wang Yang, game data input progress. And Wang Yang thinks this system really is smart. Looks like I can totally dominate him here. And many people are watching Minister Qin Wenyan and Wang Yang's gameplay and they are saying, what? Lord is playing Go against left Minister Qi Wenyuan? That's impossible to win. And the other man says, indeed, Qi Wenyuan once defeated 18 national masters of Xianhua dynasty Xin Jia handedly. His skills are terrifying, and Yi Linlang says to them, enough talk. The Lord will surely triumph. And Qi Niao is thinking, the ancestral master can even play Go. He's so multi-talented. And Grand Advisor thinks, a 2-stone handicap against a top-level player? This is unheard of. Hope nothing goes wrong. And Minister Qin Wenyan, seeing Wang Yang's move thinks, he's making perfect moves every time. It's incredible. And Wang Yang smilingly makes his move, haha. Just like the rumors say, it's truly dominating. Even a novice like me can easily overpower the experts. And Minister Qin Wenyan is a bit nervous and he thinks, even with a 2-stone handicap, I'm still at a disadvantage. Wang Yang's skill is truly unfathomable. And seeing the gameplay of both of them, the crowd starts talking again and one man says, why hasn't the left minister given the signal? Could he be caught up in the game? And the other man says, Sir Qi must have a plan. Let's wait and see. And Minister Qin Wenyan gets very nervous and he thinks, why? Why does he see through every move I make? Why? Why isn't his focus on the game? Could he have noticed my backup plan? And then Wang Yang plays his last move and says, Sir Qi, the game is over. Thank you for the game. And now Minister Qin Wenyan has lost, and he is very shocked, and he says, impossible. With a 2-stone handicap, I still lost. This can't be. And Minister Qin Wenyan starts bleeding from his mouth, and seeing this Wang Yang gets even more shocked, and he thinks, it's just a game, no need to be so dramatic. But the bleeding from Minister Qin Wenyan's mouth does not stop, seeing which Wang Yang thinks, brother, it's just a game of Go, no need to be so dramatic. And the system says to Wang Yang, congratulations host. Through the game, the opponent's spirit is damaged, dropping to Immortal King Realm. And Wang Yang says, why do you look a bit off? And the system says, seems like a bug. Can't get the reward. And Wang Yang happily says, are you trying to make me die laughing? Then Wang Yang says to Minister Qin Wenyan, brother Qi, thanks for the game. But then suddenly 2 people attack Wang Yang from behind, and a huge explosion takes place. But Wang Yang easily stops the attack of both of them by making a barrier, seeing which a man says, as expected, there's a protective shell. Old song, try again from another angle. And Song Tie says, got it. My apologies, Sir Wang Yang. And they together attack Wang Yang again. But this time Wang Yang is ready and he says, since you're seeking death, don't blame me for being merciless. Then Wang Yang reverses the attack of both of them, seeing which the man gets surprised and says this. How is this possible? Then Minister Qin Wenyan says to both of them, enough. Both of you, stand down. And Minister Qin Wenyan says to Wang Yang, I overestimated myself earlier. Thank you, Sir Wang Yang, for graciously teaching me. We will honor our agreement. And Wang Yang says, farewell, no need to see us off. And the other man says to Minister Qin Wenyan, left minister, why didn't you join in earlier to help eliminate this threat to His Majesty? But Minister Qin Wenyan says, sigh, that Wang Yang is unfathomable. His Go skills might have reached the realm of the Tao of strategy. But the other man still gets angry and he says, so what if he's good at Go? What's the big deal? And Minister Qin Wenyan says, that could be the realm of a heavenly Tao sage. What did you think it was? And the other man says, the realm of a heavenly Tao sage? Impossible. And Minister Qin Wenyan says, I'll advise His Majesty not to provoke the great Qing dynasty any further or the consequences could be disastrous. And then the system says it's about to come out. And Wang Yang thinks, why do you look constipated? And then the system shows a fragment to Wang Yang and says, finally, it's refined at last. And looking at the fragment, Wang Yang says, what kind of fragment is this? Doesn't look like much. And the system tells Wang Yang, this is a heavenly Tao fragment. No matter how talented a cultivator is, without comprehending a heavenly Tao fragment, they cannot become a heavenly Tao sage. Then Wang Yang catches the fragment and starts absorbing it, and a lot of energy starts coming out of the fragment. And an old man sitting in the cave feels that energy, but he gets surprised and he says, this aura. Could it be a heavenly Tao fragment? The battle for the great Tao hasn't begun yet. How could a heavenly Tao fragment appear? And another old man also feels that power and he says, the appearance of a heavenly Tao fragment. It seems the world is about to descend into chaos. And a female says, I wonder who will claim this heavenly Tao fragment. This humble one has been waiting for so long. Then we see two people and one man says, you didn't set this whole thing up, did you? And the other man says, the heavenly Tao fragment is the only path to becoming a sage. How could I bear to give it up? Then Wang Yang reaches another place, and he gets surprised seeing that. And the system tells Wang Yang, host, this is the heavenly Tao altar within your sea of consciousness. Place that fragment in the central disk to activate the power of the heavenly Tao. And Wang Yang does exactly what the system told him to do, and Wang Yang places the fragment in the middle. And then a very strong energy starts coming out. And the system tells Wang Yang, Emperor Realm Stage 3 to Emperor Realm Stage 4. Tao of Strategy 9th rank Hidden Wisdom. And Wang Yang gets very surprised and he says, not only has my realm improved, but I've also gained a brand new heavenly Tao level. And the system says, 9th rank Hidden Wisdom, grants 3 black and 3 white stones, each providing a unique opportunity when used. And Wang Yang says, opportunities from using stones? Is this for external use or internal use? Explain a bit. And the system says, host, it's neither internal nor external. Now that you're a game master, you can use these stones to assist or hinder others. And Wang Yang says, a game master? That title sounds pretty impressive. And the system says, the game master uses the world as their board, all beings as pieces, everything is within their grasp. But Wang Yang says, stop, just tell me the main point. Do I have any powers besides playing Go? And the system says, currently, host, you're immune to the suppression techniques of enemies in the same realm, and you can also nullify the suppression of Emperor Realm by supreme beings. And Wang Yang says, the protagonists in novels always kill opponents across realms. This ability is pretty lame. Then Wang Yang comes back down, and Yi Linlang tells Wang Yang, never expect your Go skills to be so magnificent, husband. It's truly an eye-opener. And Wang Yang says, Shi Wenyuan's Tao heart was shattered from losing the Go match. His realm has dropped to Immortal King. He won't trouble the great Qing dynasty for a while. And all the elders say to Wang Yang, long live the Lord. And Yi Linlang says, quick, bring more wine. A toast to our Lord's triumphant return. Then Wang Yang uses his power and upgrades the array formation. And the system says to Wang Yang, congratulations, host, on upgrading the Imperial Protection Array and establishing a connection with it. System reward issued, Sacred Grade Sword Technique, Heaven's 9 Tribulation Sword. And Wang Yang gets a little surprised seeing the book, and he starts thinking about something. And Grand Advisor says, what's going on? Why does the Imperial Protection Array look like? And Wang Yang thinks, so this is how the white stones work. They can turn all beings into pieces. Does that mean I can control others? Husband. This outfit. It's so embarrassing. And Wang Yang becomes very happy imagining Yi Linlang. Then he tells them, "Stay calm, I've just done a little upgrade to the Imperial Protection Array. From now on, unless a Supreme Realm expert arrives, this array can resist all external enemies." And Grand Advisor thinks the Imperial Protection Array has indeed been strengthened. Emperor Wang Yang is truly unfathomable. And the elders say, "Our Lord is incredible. He might have already reached supreme cultivation." Then the scene shifts, and we see a man who is drinking and he says, "Who would have thought even the all-calculating left minister could miscalculate?" And another man says, "The powerful expert named Wang Yang, whom Empress Yi Linlang invited, has unfathomable strength. I hope your majesty will temporarily halt actions against the great Qing dynasty." Such a small great Qing dynasty, yet you can't even handle it. Go get the right minister, and have her directly raise the great Qing dynasty. And he is Emperor Xianyu. The minister says, "Your Majesty, please don't. Now is the crucial moment for the northern campaign. Do not ruin the great plan due to a momentary anger." And Emperor Xianyu says, "Nothing is more important than capturing Yi Linlang. If you guys can't do it, I will personally lead the army to annihilate the great Qing." So the minister says, "The Lord is wise and mighty, scaring off powerful foes with just a game of Go. The Lord's divine skills are unmatched, repelling the Xianyu dynasty's forces in one move." On the other hand, the imperial advisor says to Wang Yang, "Your Majesty, my lord, I have just done some calculations. 5 days from now will be a perfect auspicious day for marriage. I suggest start preparing for the wedding now." So Yi Linlang says, "Imperial advisor, isn't your arrangement a bit rushed? Such a significant event should have first the Lord's approval." And Wang Yang thinks, "One is having a red face, the other a white face, do I really have a choice?" Then he says, "As for this marriage, can I return to the Spirit Sword sect to make preparation?" And Yi Linlang says, "My lord, you don't need to worry about the wedding arrangements, the Imperial Advisor can take care of everything." And Qingyao says, "Imperial Advisor, your Majesty, even if the great Qing handles the matters here, the ancestral master still needs to go back to prepare dowry and welcome ceremony." And Yi Linlang says, "Lady Lu has a point. The Lord just mentioned that this is also a major event for the Spirit Sword sect. It does need proper preparation. I'm just concerned that the customs of the Lingjian sect are different from those of our great Qing dynasty. Will that lead to conflicts on the day of the ceremony?" An imperial advisor says, "Since the Lord plans to return to the Spirit Sword sect, may I accompany you? I am the imperial advisor of the great Qing dynasty and well versed in the procedures for wedding." And Wang Yang thinks, "This is my first time getting married in this world, so I might as well leave it to an expert." And he says, "All right then, the imperial advisor will come with us back to the Spirit Sword sect." Then they come out and Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, "My lord, I'll miss you. I wish I could go back to the Spirit Sword sect with you." And Wang Yang says, "Haha, what's there to miss? In 5 days I'll be marrying you and bringing you home." And Yi Linlang goes close to Wang Yang and she says, "Actually, I'm not quite ready." And Wang Yang holds Yi Linlang's hand and says to her, "Not ready for what? Not ready to be my bride, or not ready to have my children?" And on hearing about having a child, Yi Linlang starts blushing and she says, "Geez, stop it, it's getting late, let's set off quickly." Then all 3 of them sit in the legendary carriage and go to the Spirit Sword sect, and when people see the imperial carriage they are very shocked and they think Wang Yang is a true legendary figure. An imperial advisor thinks, even a supreme being doesn't have such a magnificent carriage, just what kind of extraordinary figure is this Wang Yang? Then imperial advisor says to Wang Yang, "Lord Wang Yang, I'm a bit curious, may I ask which holy land you hail from?" And Wang Yang says to the system, "What are the holy lands in this world?" So the system says, "Host, you're asking the right person. There are 10 holy lands in this world: Holy Land, Xiantian Holy Land, Haofa Holy Land, Luyuan Holy Land, Yunchuan Holy Land." And Wang Yang gets very surprised after hearing about so many holy lands. And he asks the system to keep quiet, and he understands, if I claim to be affiliated with any of these holy lands, I'll definitely end up with a ton of trouble later. Better just say I'm a rogue cultivator. And he says, "I'm just an ordinary rogue cultivator, never been to any of the 10 holy lands." And the imperial advisor says, "I never would have guessed the Lord was a rogue cultivator. Your talent and fortune are truly terrifying." And then the system tells Wang Yang, "Report, host. The spirit sword sect's protected array is under fierce. And Wang Yang thinks, who are these clueless fools, attacking while I'm away? An imperial advisor asks Wang Yang, Lord, what happened just now? And Wang Yang says, it's nothing, just that my spirit sword sect might be facing a little trouble. Then the scene shifts, and some people are trying to break the reformation of spirit sword sect, and they are saying, this sect formation is truly extraordinary, it remains completely unshaken. Then we see a man and he thinks the spirit sword sect has always been low profile. Who knew they had such a formidable protective array? We must take it down today. And the people of spirit sword sect are looking towards the sky. And there is a huge explosion in the sky, but still the array formation is intact. And some people say, the array won't hold, will it? And the other man says, this array was personally set up by the ancestral master. It's not that easy to break. And then Wang Yang reaches that place. And everyone becomes very happy seeing Wang Yang. But Wang Yang is in a hurry and he says, what on earth is going on here? And sect master says to Wang Yang, those cultivators were just passing by, but somehow they got their eyes on our spirit sword sect's protective array. And Qingyao says, which sect dares to be so bold as to offend our spirit sword sect? And Wang Yang thinks, how unlucky, coming here to court death at this moment. I'm in the middle of preparing for my wedding. I must drive off these stray dogs first. Then Wang Yang goes ahead and says, take good care of the imperial advisor. I'll be right back. Then Wang Yang says to the people of the other sect, where did these stray dogs come from, daring to cause trouble in my spirit sword sect? Wang Yang comes in front of those people. Those people are very angry on seeing Wang Yang, and one man says, a mere brat dares to insult our Fengyan sect? Looks like you don't want to live anymore. And Wang Yang says, go back and tell your sect master to hand over the sect's protective array. Otherwise, when the array falls, we won't leave a single living thing in the spirit sword sect. And Wang Yang says, so, you're here to kill, rob, and wipe us out, huh? You bunch of lackeys really amuse me. And he thinks, these people are just cannon fodder, did they just come here to die? And the bearded man says, your little spirit sword sect doesn't deserve this array. Even if we don't take it, others will. Hand it over obediently, and we might leave your corpse intact. And Wang Yang says to the system, check the cultivation level of those cannon fodder on the other side. So the system tells, 1 at Great Emperor 2nd stage, 2 at Peak Immortal King, and 1 at Perfected Immortal. And Wang Yang thinks, mere cannon fodder, yet they dare act so brazenly before me. Perfect, I haven't learned the sacred grade sword technique yet, I'll use you for practice. And the system says, detected host learning sword technique, immediately rewarding, Heaven's 9 Tribulation Sword, to perfect mastery. Then Wang Yang clicks on the learn button and the system says, detected host learning sword technique, immediately rewarding 9 heavenly profound sword techniques to perfected mastery. And then Wang Yang starts getting immense power. Then he summons a sword. And he says, in 10 breaths, all of you better scream, or I'll slaughter you all. And the bearded man says, your former sect masters used to bow their heads and address me as venerable. I can't believe that after just 200 years, the spirit sword sect has produced an arrogant brat like you. And a disciple comes forward to attack Wang Yang and he says, Master, why waste words on him? Just cripple him and destroy the spirit sword sect. But before he can do anything further, Wang Yang attacks him with a sword. He does it, and seeing a dangerous attack in front of him, the disciple gets very scared and asks his master to help him. But his master is very scared and in a short while Wang Yang kills him. Seeing this, the bearded man is shocked and gets very angry because his disciple is dead. And the bearded man says, You dare to attack our Fengyan sect? Wang Yang says in an angry voice, you've offended the spirit sword sect, and your attitude is unforgivable. You're simply seeking death. But the bearded man gets very angry and takes out a sword and says, you killed my disciple. Today, I, Lingji Jinren, will bury you and your entire sword spirit sect with him. And Wang Yang, he says, bury us? Fine, I'll send you all to hell to be with your disciple. And the fat master says, Senior brother, don't be impulsive. This brat is at least at the great emperor stage. We must act cautiously. And the bearded man says, Junior brother, quickly set up the 3 realms boundless formation to kill this person and avenge my poor disciple. Then all 3 of them surround Wang Yang and trap him in a formation, and as soon as they activate the formation, Wang Yang's realms start decreasing, Great Emperor 4th stage to peak immortal king to early immortal king. And Beard the man shouts, "You little brat, just die for me." And Wang Yang smiles and says, "Do you really think suppressing my cultivation with this cheat formation will get you an upper hand?" Then Wang Yang breaks the formation of those three very easily, due to which he again comes to the Great Emperor 4th stage. Seeing this, those people get scared and say, "Senior brother, his cultivation is back to normal. What do we do now?" And the bearded man also gets very shocked and he thinks, How can this be? Unless he's reached the supreme stage, he shouldn't be unaffected. Then he says, "Don't panic, the three realms of boundless formation can increase our power. Let's strike together. I don't believe three great emperors can take down one brat." And they get ready to attack Wang Yang and move ahead to attack. And all of them use their sword techniques to kill Wang Yang, but Wang Yang is smiling and he knows that even these three together cannot do anything to him. Then he says, "So weak. Didn't you have breakfast or something? Heaven and Earth star technique, heaven and Earth realm." Wang Yang easily destroys their attack, and they cannot believe that how can Wang Yang destroy their attack so easily? And Wang Yang comes on top of the bearded man and starts collecting spiritual energy in his sword and he says, "I gave you a chance, and you couldn't take it. Now it's my turn." And the bearded man asks his companions to retreat, but now it is too late, and Wang Yang has attacked one of his companions and killed him. And seeing this, Moda Master gets scared and then Wang Yang comes behind him and he says, "Don't worry, I'll send you to join him soon enough." And Wang Yang kills Moda Master also with a sword and only one man is left who starts running and Wang Yang is watching him. And this is the bearded man and while running he thinks, "This guy is too strong, I need to escape. Junior brother, forgive me. I'll avenge you someday." And Wang Yang says, "That old bastard reacted quickly, but you're not escaping either." And Wang Yang attacks the bearded man with a sword. But then the bearded man activates the soul dispersal talisman, and he starts running away from here very fast. And seeing this, the system says to Wang Yang, "Host, the system detects a soul rapidly escaping. Should I eliminate it?" But Wang Yang says, "No need, I'll play with him a bit." And the bearded man while running thinks, "Spirit sword sect, all of you, just you wait." Then Wang Yang comes back to the sect and seeing Wang Yang, the people of the sect say, "Welcome back, Ancestral Master." Then Qingyao says, "Ancestral Master, which sect were those people from?" So Wang Yang says, "Heard they were from the Fengyan sect, I killed them all." And Sect Master gets very shocked and he says, "What, the Fengyan sect? Oh no, Ancestral Master. What should we do?" And Wang Yang says, "What's wrong? Does the Fengyan sect have a supreme stage expert?" An imperial advisor says, "Lord, the Fengyan sect master is said to be at the Great Emperor stage, but their backing sect, Yunin sect, has several supreme stage experts." And Wang Yang says, "The Fengyan sect has a Great Emperor, and their hidden backer has supreme stage experts, while our Spirit Sword sect only has fusion stage cultivators." And Sect Master gets a little nervous and he says, "Doubt we still have you, Ancestral Master." An imperial advisor says, "Sect Master Lu, after the Lord's wedding, he'll need to stay in the capital often to accompany Her Majesty." And Sect Master gets nervous and he says, "What? Then won't the Spirit Sword sect?" And Wang Yang says, "Let's convene a sect-wide meeting. For now, focus on preparing the wedding," and everyone agrees for this. After some time we hear some people talking and they are saying, "Did you hear? Our Spirit Sword sect's Ancestral Master is back." And another man says, "The great Qing dynasty's empress came to pursue him herself. I'm so envious." And one man says, "Quiet, be careful, the elders might hear and punish you." And then Wang Yang comes in front of them and looking at Wang Yang they say, "That's the Ancestral Master? He's so young. He looks kind of familiar. Wait, isn't that Wang Yang from the back mountain?" And as soon as Wang Yang's foot touches the ground, a very strong spiritual energy starts flowing there, seeing which those people get very surprised and say, "This is the aura of a great emperor stage expert." And Wang Yang tells those people, "Everyone, in 5 days I will marry the empress of the great Qing dynasty. I hope you can all put in some hard work for the next few days, and assist the imperial advisor in preparing the sect." And one man from the crowd says, "Ah, he's recruiting us to do manual labor." And another man says, "But the monthly evaluation is coming up. This is so unfair. Ancestral Master, we will do our utmost to organize a grand wedding for you and the Empress." Then Wang Yang says, "After my wedding, All disciples, inner and outer, will receive 3 marrow cleansing pills and 3 chi harmonizing pills. All elder will each get 3 spirit condensing pills. And I will personally mentor the most outstanding talents selected from within the sect. And we see the sect master who gets down on his knees and he says, "Thank you, ancestral master, for your generosity with pills and yours guidance. From now on, you are our spirit sword sect's grand master." And sect master says to the disciples, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and thank the grand master." So all the disciples bow down in front of Wang Yang and say, "Thank you, grand master, for your grace." And sect master becomes very happy and he says, "Let's make the spirit sword sect strong again." Then Wang Yang asks the system, "You can handle all these rewards, right?" So the system says, "No problem, leave it to me." Then the scene shifts and we see another place and the bearded man is bowing in front of a man, and it's a sect master, and he says, "I've already reconstructed your body, but I'm afraid your previous cultivation level won't return." So the bearded man says, "Sect master, Spirit Sword sect has humiliated us, and they even brutally killed 5th and 7th brother. I swear I won't rest until I've avenged them. You couldn't even defeat him with the 3 realms boundless formation. His cultivation level might already be at the supreme stage." And the bearded man says, "Are we really going to swallow this humiliation?" And the sect master says, "That person cannot be allowed to live. I must visit Union sect and get them to take action, to destroy the Spirit Sword sect." And the bearded man says, "Thank you, sect master, for avenging 5th and 7th brother." At the same time he thinks, "Spirit Sword sect, you re-doomed." And now the wedding preparations are going on in full swing and the elder is telling people to cut the small trees properly. And we see another elder who is telling people to cut the trees properly. Put up the lighting properly. And Qin Yao is also told to reduce the servants properly. Then Imperial Advisor says, "Sect Master, this is the dowry list prepared by the great Qing dynasty. Please take a look." And Sect Master thinks, the golden brocade robe, heavenly fire glazed furnace, phoenix nirvana feather, deep sea blood coral. These gifts are too precious. Our Spirit Sword sect can't possibly prepare matching betrothal gifts. An Imperial Advisor says, "Sect Master Lu needn't worry too much. The Lord and Empress are in love, the betrothal gifts are just a formality." And then Wang Yang comes to them and says, "How could my marriage with the Empress be treated lightly? Even if the Spirit Sword sect could be casual, we can't disrespect the great Qing dynasty." An Imperial Advisor says, "My lord, I apologize for my presumptuousness. I shouldn't have tried to make decisions for the Spirit Sword sect." And Wang Yang says, "The betrothal gifts are already prepared. I definitely won't shortchange my future wife." An Imperial Advisor and Sect Master get very shocked and say, "The Divine Lightning Sword, 7-colored glowing robe, Mystic Ice Divine Feather Fan, 9 Heavens Thunder Pearl, Phoenix Tear Dawn Jade. Lord, you are too generous to our Empress." And the Sect Master thinks, "These treasures. I've never even heard of half of them. When did the Spirit Sword sect become this wealthy?" And the system says to Wang Yang, "How is it, host? Are the wedding gifts I prepared acceptable?" And Wang Yang says, "I really have to thank you this time, you've been a great help." And the system has some other plan and it says, "These wedding gifts are just a teaser. Tomorrow is the big show, just wait to see this system's grand gift." 3 days later and everyone is ready and one man says, "The great Qing dynasty is so far away. How are we going to get there?" And the other man says, "Don't worry, the sect master has surely arranged everything." An Imperial Advisor says to Wang Yang, "Your Majesty, why hasn't the wedding procession arrived yet?" Then Wang Yang says, "Be patient, look, here they come." And then 6 dragon Imperial carriages start coming to Wang Yang. And the system says to Wang Yang, "Host, isn't this wedding procession grand and impressive?" And Wang Yang says, "A whole fleet of dragons, well done." An Imperial Advisor looks up and she is surprised and she says this, "How can there be so many 6 dragon Imperial carriages?" And Wang Yang says, "Imperial Advisor, the auspicious hour has arrived. It's time for us to depart." Then Wang Yang sits in the 6 dragon Imperial carriages and everyone says goodbye to Wang Yang. And on the other side, Yi Linlang is ready wearing the wedding dress and she is thinking, why hasn't the Lord arrived yet? And then there is an announcement that Wang Yang has arrived, due to which Yi Linlang gets a little panic and she says, "What? Lord is here. Has he come to receive his bride?" And the servant says, Your Majesty, you can't lift the veil yet. Then Yi Linlang comes in front of Wang Yang, and Wang Yang is looking at Yi Linlang and he thinks, I never thought that after crossing over, I'd get to marry such a delicate beauty. It was definitely worth coming here. And Wang Yang goes close to Yi Linlang and holds her hands and asks her, My lady, the auspicious hour has come. Would you be willing to walk hand in hand with me through life? So Yi Linlang says, I do. Then Wang Yang removes the cloth from Yi Linlang's head and starts looking at her beautiful face. And Wang Yang gets very happy seeing her beautiful face and he thinks, Wow, my lady is so beautiful. And Wang Yang starts taking Yi Linlang with him. And the elders are saying, May His Majesty and Her Highness's celestial bond remain eternal. May His Majesty and Her Highness share endless love for all time. Then both of them come out and in front of them there is 6 dragon imperial carriages, seeing which Yi Linlang gets a little surprised. But then Wang Yang picks Yi Linlang in his lap and starts taking her to 6 dragon imperial carriages, and Wang Yang tells Yi Linlang, It's just getting into the carriage, not entering the wedding chamber. What's there to worry about? And Yi Linlang says, Husband, you're teasing me. But then thunder starts in the sky, seeing which Wang Yang gets a little surprised. And we see Qing Yao, an imperial advisor. They are also surprised and they are also not able to understand anything. And Wang Yang looks there and Yi Linlang asks Wang Yang, Husband, could it be people from the Xianyu dynasty? So Wang Yang says, They sure picked the right day. Don't worry, my lady. I'll be right back. And we see Qi Wenyuan and Juexin, and Qi Wenyuan is thinking, Sigh, I really can't go against His Majesty's wishes. No backing out this time. And then we see these 3 and they are trying to break the formation and the red-haired man says, Damn it, this turtle shell is way harder than last time. It's infuriating. And Wang Yang comes in front of them and Qi Wenyuan says to Wang Yang, Sir Wang Yang, well met. And Wang Yang says, Drop your false courtesy. Qi Wenyuan, you have the nerve to go back on your word and repeatedly trouble the great Qing dynasty. And then those 3 start coming in front to fight General Wang Yang, but Qi Wenyuan stops them and then he says, Imperial orders are absolute, Master Yang Wang. If you hand over Empress Yi Linlang to us, I'm willing to make any compensation. And Wang Yang takes out a divine lightning sword and he says, Compensation. Today is my joyous wedding day with the Empress, and I don't want any bloodshed. Since your Xianyu dynasty is pressing so aggressively, none of you will be leaving today. And Qi Wenyuan says to Juexin, Lord Juexin, may I handle this matter first? Is that all right? So Juexin also gets ready. Then Qi Wenyuan gives the order and he says, 3 generals, assist me. Form the formation. And Qi Wenyuan says, Azure dragon soars, white tiger roars, vermilion bird dances, black turtle guards. Power of the 4 divine beasts heed my call. And then they activate the formation and Wang Yang starts laughing seeing their formation and he says, Oh, you've brought an azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise together, but to me, they're just a snake, a cat, a bird, and a turtle. Watch me tear apart your little formation. Thinking a snake, cat, bird, and turtle can intimidate me? I'll shred your pathetic formation. And Wang Yang thinks, Qi Wenyuan is controlling the formation cut him down, and it should collapse, and then Wang Yang makes a dangerous attack on the formation, and seeing his attack Qi Wenyuan gets very scared and he thinks, not good, that sword strike is too strong. And Qi Wenyuan is panicking and trying to ask for help from everyone. Wang Yang does a dangerous attack on the formation and the power of both starts colliding with each other due to which both the attacks get neutralized. Then we see that Qi Wenyuan is a little injured and he thinks, such a domineering sword technique. If not for the formation's protection, I would have perished just now. And Wang Yang moves back a little and he thinks, damn it, this formation is indeed tricky. That heaven-shattering slash should have been enough to take down Qi Wenyuan. And Yi Linlang and Imperial Advisor are watching their fight from below. Then Yi Linlang says to Imperial Advisor, Bring me my Phoenix Feather Crimson Sky Sword, I shall help His Majesty break the formation. But Imperial Advisor says, Your Majesty, you absolutely must not. This 4 sacred beasts formation was created by the Xiantian Holy Land, its mysteries are profound. Unless one has supreme cultivation, it can only be broken from within. And Yi Linlang says this? Are we just going to watch His Majesty being bullied by those Xianhua dynasty people? So Imperial Advisor says, "Don't worry, Your Majesty. Lord Wang Yang's cultivation and foundations are unfathomable. He will find a way to break the formation." Here Wang Yang is a little serious and he thinks, Qi Wenyuan's injuries healed so quickly. This formation truly has some depth. Looks like I'll have to go all out. And Wang Yang again gets ready to make a dangerous attack, and he attacks the formation and he says, "Let's see how you handle this move." And Wang Yang's attack starts putting a dangerous pressure on the formation, but Qi Wenyuan is not going to back down. He is also trying to stop Wang Yang's attack and he says, "Don't be arrogant." And Qi Wenyuan attacks Wang Yang with dragon claws, but Wang Yang easily stops his attack and he thinks, "Seems I need to find a way to break this formation." And the system says to Wang Yang, "Host, no need to worry, I've already figured out a way to shatter the formation." And Qi Wenyuan again attacks Wang Yang with tiger claws and Wang Yang creates a barrier to stop his attack and he says to the system, "Oh? Let's see what method you've prepared for breaking the formation." And the system says, "System detected your strong desire to break the formation, so here's a special reward, Celestial Insight Eye." And the system gives Wang Yang the Celestial Insight Eye, due to which energy starts accumulating in Wang Yang's forehead and his third eye opens and he thinks, "I thought it would be the fiery eyes of Sun Wukong, but it's actually the eye of heaven like Yang Jian's. Good, now let me see where this turtle formation's weak point is." And Wang Yang starts looking at the formation to find its weak point, and he soon finds the weak point. Then Wang Yang does a dangerous attack on the formation, and seeing that these people get scared and blood starts coming out of their mouth, and the cult of Lal Bal General decreases, Emperor's Realm second stage to Immortal King mid stage. And he says, "Wang Yang, that bastard. What's happening to my cultivation?" And Wang Yang comes behind him and says, "Thank you, for thinking of me even at the moment of your death." And then Wang Yang attacks the general with his sword and kills him, and in the same way he attacks two more people and kills them both very easily. And Qi Wenyuan is injured and he thinks, Is this Yang Wang's true power? Truly terrifying. And Qi Wenyuan's cultivation level decreases from the Emperor's 5th stage to the Emperor's initial stage. Then Wang Yang goes up to the sky and he says, "Alright, now it's just you left, Qi Wenyuan." And Wang Yang makes a dangerous attack on Qi Wenyuan. But someone blocks his attack, seeing which Wang Yang is surprised. And we see that Zhu Xian stops Wang Yang's attack and she says, "Killing the left minister, I won't allow it." And Wang Yang says, "This right minister, Zhu Xian, does some skill. She effortlessly blocked my Heaven's 9 Tribulation sword. What level is she really at?" And the system says to Wang Yang, "Host, didn't you just get the Celestial Insight Eye? You can use it to check her cultivation level." And Wang Yang, following the system's advice, starts checking Zhu Xian's cultivation level. But Wang Yang sees something else too. On seeing his nose starts bleeding and he thinks, "Is it actually pink? This contrast is a bit too much." And the system says to Wang Yang, "Oh host, you've activated the wrong function. That's the Insight Eye's X-ray mode." And Zhu Xian shouts, "Pervert, die." And Wang Yang thinks so she can be embarrassed. "I thought she was just an inflatable doll." And Zhu Xian attacks Wang Yang and Zhu Xian's cultivation level is at Great Emperor Realm 8th stage. And Wang Yang's cultivation level is at the Great Emperor Realm 4th stage. And Zhu Xian again attacks Wang Yang and Wang Yang stops her attack, then they create some distance and Wang Yang thinks, "The strength of the Great Emperor Realm 8th stage is truly formidable. I need to handle this carefully." And Qi Wenyuan says, "Wang Yang, you should just give up. Right Minister Zhu Xian holds the power to destroy nations. There's no way you can defeat her." But Wang Yang says, "Silence. Since when does a loser like you get to lecture me?" Then Wang Yang attacks Qi Wenyuan with Heaven's 9 Tribulation sword Celestial Spirit Slash, and Qi Wenyuan gets injured. And then Zhu Xian again comes forward to attack Wang Yang and Wang Yang notices her. And he easily dodges her attack. But Zhu Xian again attacks Wang Yang with Celestial Spear Technique Solar Comet Strike Teller. And Wang Yang thinks her body is way too soft. Could she really be an inflatable doll? And the system says to Wang Yang, "Host, watch out for her spear." And Wang Yang thinks he was too focused on her figure, almost fell for that trick. And Wang Yang says, "An Emperor's 8th stage really is a bit tricky. This is getting interesting." And the system says, "Host, I have a secret technique that can directly advance you to the Supreme Realm." And Wang Yang says, no fun if I use cheats. I'll keep playing with her a bit longer. And the system says, so you're not a fan of just crushing everything in your path. And Wang Yang says, by the way, didn't I accumulate a lot of merit points before? Can I use those? And the system says, the system detects that the host intends to convert merit points, now issuing the reward, Divine Level Cultivation Manual, Sacred Virtue Record. And Wang Yang thinks, great, those merit points can finally come in handy. And Wang Yang says to the system, begin cultivation. And the system says, congratulations to the host for cultivating the Divine Level Cultivation Manual Sacred Virtue Record. Merit Dharma Body has reached Emperor Tier 9. Merit Dharma Body Emperor Tier 9. And Wang Yang's cultivation level has increased and he says, with my base cultivation at Great Emperor Tier 4 plus my Merit Dharma Body at Emperor Tier 9, my strength is now no less than a supreme. Time to have some fun with the right Chancellor of the Xianyu dynasty. And Zhu Xian gets surprised and she says, why? Have you grown stronger? And Wang Yang says, why not test it yourself and find out? And Zhu Xian attacks Wang Yang and says, you're asking for death. And Wang Yang says, such a dim light? How can it compare to the brilliance of the sun and moon? Heaven's 9 tribulation sword. And Wang Yang attacks and Zhu Xian starts facing problems because of his attack. And Wang Yang takes his weapon. And looking at that weapon the system says, oh dear, turns out this is actually a divine level spear, but with some damage, it can only unleash immortal level power. Treasure levels, mortal, rare, spirit, immortal, emperor, divine, heavenly Tao supreme treasure. And when Zhu Xian asks Wang Yang for her weapon back, Wang Yang says, good children shouldn't be playing with dangerous toys. I'll keep it safe for you. And Zhu Xian gets angry and moves forward to take her weapon back. But Wang Yang stops her, and Zhu Xian says to Wang Yang, you scoundrel! Give it back! You scoundrel, give it back! And Wang Yang thinks, why is Zhu Xian acting like a child now? Could her mind be controlled? Whatever, I'll just subdue her first. And Wang Yang attacks Zhu Xian and knocks her unconscious. And the system says to Wang Yang, whoa, whoa! Host, you really have no mercy for delicate beauties. And Wang Yang says, mercy? She's Great Emperor Tier 8. Stop with the sarcasm and help me figure out how to tie her up. And the system says, congratulations to the host for defeating the ancient spirit puppet. You have obtained the immortal binding rope and a divine level cultivation manual. And Wang Yang says, the immortal binding rope is pretty handy. But why is this cultivation manual so mysterious? And the system says, host, this system always provides what's best for you. It's sure to shit your needs. And Wang Yang says, you damn system. Can this kind of manual even pass censorship? And the system says, host, that's just a minor issue. And Wang Yang says, now that's more like it. Though it sounds pretty scholarly. And as Wang Yang starts to leave, Qi Wenyuan tells him, Mr. Wang Yang, please wait. Lord Zhu Xian is a pillar of the Xianyu dynasty. Please don't take her away. I'm willing to die in her place. And Wang Yang says, you? With your pathetic life? Just go back and deliver a message to Emperor Xianyu. Tell him thanks for this wonderful wedding gift on my big day. If he dares to provoke me again, I'll wipe the Xianyu dynasty off the map. Go back and tell that scoundrel Emperor Xianyu that I'll destroy his dynasty soon. Tell him to wash his neck ass and wait for me. And Qi Wenyuan says, I'll pass the message. Then Wang Yang comes back to Yi Linlang. And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, husband, you weren't hurt during the battle just now, were you? I was so worried. And Qingyao says, Your Majesty, His Highness the nation's lord just swept through the enemy ranks. He's perfectly fine. And Wang Yang throws Zhu Xian on the ground. And Qingyao says, Grand Sect Master, who is this? And Wang Yang says, this is the right Chancellor of the Xianyu dynasty. She's now my prisoner. And Zhu Xian says, you scoundrel, let go of me. And Wang Yang shuts Zhu Xian's mouth and he says, I've already suppressed her cultivation down to Immortal King Tier 5. Find a place to keep her locked up, I'll deal with her later. And a servant says, Nation's Lord, leave her to me. Then Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, my dear, let's get moving. We can't afford to delay the wedding ceremony. And Yi Linlang says, whatever you say, my love. And Wang Yang starts taking Yi Linlang with him. And there are many servants following him, and they say, "Farewell to Her Majesty and the nation's lord." And some elders talk and they say, "Master Lu, congratulations. I never expected your Lingjian sect to have a great emperor powerhouse." And the second elder says, "Not at all, not at all. Doesn't your Taiga Pavilion also have a great emperor holding the fort?" And the first elder says, "Taiga Pavilion, which usually ignores us, actually sent someone to the banquet." And the second elder says, "Not just them, even Bilb Palace, Cheonghua sect, and Jalivua sect sent representatives." And the first elder says, "Looks like our Lingjian sect is about to rise, no longer just a third-rate sect in the eastern continents." And the second elder says, "With the skills of our grand sect master, I believe we can make it to the ranks of first-rate sects." And then somebody shouts at them and says, "What are you two chatting about? Hurry inside and greet the guests. I'm already overwhelmed here." Then we hear some people talking and they say, "Lingjian sect really is blessed. They even managed to get the empress of the great Qing dynasty to marry into their sect. Could it be that so-called grand sect master has some special charm with women?" Then we see a man and his name is young Master Situ, and he says, "I bet that so-called grand sect master is just a pretty boy, living off a rich woman. That so-called empress is probably some ugly old hag." And listening to that man's words, many people start laughing, and from a distance a boy hears their conversation and he thinks, "That guy dares insult our Lingjian sect." And then somebody stops him and he says, "That man is a great emperor expert from the Golden Palace. Whatever you do, don't provoke him." And then the announcement happens, the bride and groom have arrived. And seeing Wang Yang and Yi Linlang, some people say, "What? That stunning beauty is the empress? Damn! What insane luck did Lingjian sect stumble upon to land such a goddess?" And Qin Yao thinks, "The grand sect master and the empress are a perfect match. It's none of your business to comment on them." And a man thinks, "Wait, that beautiful lady is the empress of the great Qing dynasty? That brat sure got lucky." The young Master Situ comes in front of those people and he says, "Never thought the great Qing empress would be this gorgeous. How about you ditch that pretty boy and marry me instead?" And Yi Linlang says, "Today is my wedding day with the nation's lord. I don't want trouble. If you know what's good for you, get lost." And young Master Situ says, I love roses with thorns like you. If you agree to be mine, I'll help you wipe out the Xianyu dynasty after all. My backing is none other than the mighty Golden Palace. I say, Lady Empress, you should just go with young Master Situ. He's a well-known noble in the Eastern Continent's Confucian world. His father became a supreme powerhouse long ago, and even has influence in the Wenyuan Holy Land." And then Wang Yang places his hand on young Master Situ's shoulder, and says in an angry voice, "I don't care if your backing is the Golden Palace or the Copper Palace. Today, you're going to die here." But young Master Situ says, "A tiny sect like Lingjian dares to disrespect me? Looks like you don't know the meaning of death. If you're so confident, how about we fight outside? Whoever wins gets to be today's groom." And some people say, I haven't seen such an exciting wedding in a long time. This is getting interesting. Let's place some bets. I'll put 80,000 spirit stones on young Master Situ. Then I'll bet 60,000 on Lingjian sect." And Wang Yang thinks, "Just a mere great emperor tier 3? Let's see how I kill you later." And Wang Yang says, "If you're so eager to die, I'll gladly oblige." And they both come out to fight. And young Master Situ takes out a flute, and he says, "You Lingjian sect folks probably know nothing about a true powerhouse's heritage. This moonlit jade flute in my hand is a divine-level artifact." And Wang Yang says, I didn't expect Golden Palace to be so generous. Thanks for gifting me such a precious wedding present." And young Master Situ says, "Gift? Are you blind? This is my life-bound artifact." And Wang Yang says, "Life-bound artifact? Killing you means it's mine now." And young Master Situ starts playing the flute, and aura starts coming out of him. Aeneat Melius Fue wonders dragons roar across the sea. And many people start feeling strange with the sound of young Master Situ's flute, and they say, This flute sound can control my consciousness. It's unbearable. Someone, please kill me now." But then young Master Situ gets shocked, and he thinks, "No. Impossible. With the Moonlit Jade flute's power boost, even a supreme tier powerhouse wouldn't be unaffected." And Wang Yang prepares a dangerous attack and he says, "Situao, what kind of tune are you playing? Are you sending yourself off to the afterlife? And Wang Yang attacks young Master Situ, and Wang Yang's attack is so dangerous that everyone gets shocked after seeing it. And some people get injured and they say, What? He was taken down in a single strike. That's the Golden Palace Sect Master's son. And Wang Yang says, if anyone dares to cause trouble today, then you'll have to ask your mother who your real father is. I'll end up just like him. If anyone else tries to stir things up, they'll meet the same fate. And when these people hear Wang Yang's threat, they get scared and think this is too crazy. That was the Golden Palace's young master. I thought I was just coming for a free meal. How did things end up like this? Then the sect master says to them, everyone stay calm. It's nothing major. The wedding continues, let's keep drinking. And the sect master thinks, damn that fool Situao. Of all people to provoke, he had to mess with our Grand Master. Sigh. After this mess, our Lingjian sect is sure to have a feud with the Golden Palace now. And inside the palace a man says, let the ceremony begin. The bride and groom, please enter the hall. And Wang Yang thinks, never thought that after transmigrating, I'd end up getting married. And to such a beautiful wife at that. I swear I'll never let my empress down in this lifetime. And Qingao says, first bow to heaven and earth. Second bow to the... And Qingao thinks, so no. The Grand Master's parents aren't here, and the Empress's master didn't attend either. This isn't how it's supposed to go. And Qingao says, let's just move on. Second and third bow, couples bow. Now, off to the bridal chamber. And on hearing Qingyao's words, the sect master and his companions start laughing. And seeing this, Qingyao gets angry and she says, what's so funny? Why aren't you guys hosting properly? And Wang Yang says to Yi Linlang, my dear, let's head to the bridal chamber. Then both of them come inside a room. And Wang Yang sits close to Yi Linlang, and Yi Linlang says to him, husband, I know what to do on our wedding night. Her Majesty already gave me instructions. And Wang Yang thinks, she even thinks of this. The national teacher truly is the pillar of the Dashing dynasty. And Yi Linlang lies on the bed and she says to Wang Yang, husband, what are you waiting for? And Wang Yang now gets excited. And he starts taking off his clothes, and he says, my dear, I can't hold myself back anymore. And the system is watching all this and she says, on me, on my. This is getting intense, don't block my view. The good part's just starting. And then Wang Yang hits the system and tells her, wedding night stuff isn't for kids. Get out now. And the system says, come on. What do you mean not for kids? I was just checking if the mission was complete. At night, Chang Feng is moving ahead quietly. And he is looking at something and then Sect Master comes in front of him. And he is also hiding, and Chang Feng says to him, Sect Master, why are you here too? And Sect Master says, shh. Keep quiet. A great emperor consummating his marriage is a once in 10,000 years event. If I can gain some insights from observing this, it could greatly help me break through my cultivation bottleneck. And Chang Feng says, Oh, I see. Sect Master, your foresight is truly remarkable. And then Qingyao goes there and she says, so this is why you all claimed you were off to cultivate. Turns out you were sneaking around to spy on someone's wedding night. And Sect Master fearfully says, sister, no, it's not what you think. And Chang Feng says, junior sister, please. Let's talk this out. But Qingyao doesn't listen to them and hits them both and throws them away from here. And she looks back and she thinks, sigh. If only the one inside was me instead. And we see Wang Yang and Yi Linlang who are enjoying themselves. And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, husband, I feel like my cultivation is about to. And then a huge phoenix starts flying above their room and Qingyao gets shocked seeing it, and she says, Is this the power of a great emperor's wedding night? What the heck is this now? And the dragon and phoenix are flying in the sky, which is happening because of their dual cultivation. And Yi Linlang says to Wang Yang, husband, I never expected both of our cultivation realms to break through. And Wang Yang says, it's all thanks to you, my dear. Without the breath exchange during our bonding, I couldn't have advanced so easily. And the system says, Clearly, I did most of the work. Not even a word of thanks to your loyal system. Next morning we see a lot of ministers. And sect master says to these people, "Who's the fool that dared to strike the sect's soul bell? Don't you know what 9 tolls of the bell signify?" And one minister says, "Sect master, I have no idea either." Then sect master goes to meet Wang Yang and he says, "Greetings, Grand Sect Master, Your Majesty the Empress. This is all due to my poor teaching. I must have failed to prevent some clueless disciple from ringing the bell 9 times and disturbing your rest." And Wang Yang says, "You don't need to punish anyone. And you don't need to blame yourself either. I rang the bell myself." And sect master says, Oh, so it was you, Grand Sect Master. I thought some newbie disciple had gone rogue." And he thinks 9 tolls of the soul bell. It signifies the survival or destruction of our sect. What exactly are you planning? And Wang Yang says, "Today, I rang the soul bell to summon the entire sect. First, I wanted to thank everyone for supporting my wedding. I've already prepared the promised rewards." And sect master is surprised to see so many treasures and he says, "Grand Sect Master, you're too generous. We were just doing our duty." At the same time the sect master thinks, body cleansing pills, harmonization pills, and even the focus condensing pill that I desperately needed for my breakthrough. Heavens! Lingjian's sect is about to prosper. And Wang Yang says, "And the second matter, I plan to personally train a few promising disciples to strengthen our sect's power." And sect master says, "Grand Sect Master, leave that to me. No one knows Lingjian's sect's talent pool better than I do." Then Yilin Lang says, "Husband, my cultivation has already advanced to the mid-stage immortal king realm. Would you mind giving me some guidance again?" And Wang Yang says, "My dear, once we're back at Yuking Pavilion tonight, I'll give you some special training. I'll guide you step by step until you break through again. What do you say?" And Yilin Lang and Wang Yang tell her, "Oh, you're so naughty. This isn't the right place." And Qingyao thinks, Is this even something I should be hearing? And the system says, "Host, you really are shameless. Can't you grind behind closed doors?" And the sect master says, "Grand Sect Master, I brought all the promising disciples from Lingjian's sect for you." And hearing this, Wang Yang gets a little surprised and he says, "Lu Wei, I told you to find the promising disciples. Why did you drag out all the peak elders instead?" And the sect master says, "Grand Sect Master, Lingjian's sect has always valued talent above all. If they weren't skilled, they wouldn't have made it to the elder rank." And Wang Yang starts checking the bodies of all those disciples. And the system tells him, talent assessment levels, mortal, transcendent, spiritual genius, immortal essence, sacred body, innate Tao body. Talent, sacred body cultivation, peak nascent soul stage. And Wang Yang checks the talent and cultivation levels of all of them, and he thinks, Lu Wei wasn't lying after all. For Lingjian's sect, having someone like Lu Qingyao with a sacred body is practically a miracle. And he says, sigh. So few strong cards to play. The gap in cultivation realms is too wide, forming a solid team will be tough. And Yilin Lang says, "Husband, don't be discouraged. Once I return, I'll issue an imperial decree to recruit talented disciples for Lingjian sect's training." And Wang Yang says, "That's right. The great Qing dynasty has countless citizens. There's bound to be a chosen one destined for cultivation." And the system says the host has expressed the desire to find a chosen one. Task reward, sect cultivation technique gift pack. And Wang Yang says, 3-year nascent soul, 5-year great ascension, sword immortal, beginner to master, how to become a great emperor, supreme self-discipline handbook. System. What the heck is this? So the system says, host, my apologies. That was a display bug, I fixed it now. Then Wang Yang says, this origin returning technique can replace our sect's foundational method. And Mo Zishuan, you and your fellow disciples should focus on mastering it. As for the elders, you should cultivate this 9-turn profound skill and aim to break through to great ascension and achieve immortality soon. And a disciple says, thank you, Grand Sect Master. We will train diligently and live up to your expectations. And Sect Master and Chang Feng start fighting among themselves and they say, this technique is extremely powerful. You might not handle it well. Let me study it first. Senior brother, you've had your turn before this time, it's my turn. My lifespan is nearly up, surely I should go first. And Qingyao says, can you all act a little dignified? The Grand Sect Master is still watching. And Wang Yang gives a manual to Qingyao too, and she is surprised to see it, and she says this. Is this manual for me? So Wang Yang says, Qingyao, if you master this goddess immortal melody technique, your cultivation may one day rival that of a supreme. And the system says, host, you really have good taste. This goddess immortal melody technique is perfect for a sacred body. Ahem, I mean mystic body like hers. And Wang Yang says, naturally. And Qingyao is surprised and she says, what? Rival a supreme? Thank you, Grand Sect Master. And she thinks, wow, Grand Sect Master really cares about me. He even gifted me a supreme level technique. And Yi Linlang thinks, I wonder, does this mean I'm officially part of Lingjian's sect now? And Wang Yang gives her a manual too, and Yi Linlang gets a little surprised after holding it, and she says, Sutra? Husband, this is. And Wang Yang tells her, since everyone received a gift, how could I possibly forget about my dear wife? This Kama Sutra was created by an ancient saint. I think it suits us perfectly. And Yi Linlang says, oh? Then let me see what makes this technique so special. Since this Kama Sutra is 50 profound, husband, you must spar with me tonight to test its mysteries. And Wang Yang says, since my dear friend has requested, how can I refuse? And Yi Linlang says, yay. I got a gift too. Then the scene shifts to the Golden Palace. And a lady says, Situ Shaoqing, get out here. And an elder comes in front of her and he says, Master Mingli, sect master ordered that no one is to disturb him no matter what happens. And this lady's name is Minghui and she says, Situ Shaoqing, you bastard. Your son was killed, and you're still sitting here calmly? And the elder says, Master, please don't shout. I know you're grieving, but our sect master is no less heartbroken. Sect master is currently in the middle of a crucial breakthrough. If he loses focus and suffers a backlash, our entire Golden Palace could be doomed. And Minghui says, fine. Since you people from Golden Palace are so heartless, I'll avenge my son myself. And she starts leaving from there and she thinks, that cold-hearted old ghost Situ, if he won't act, I'll go find someone else to help me. On the other side, Lingjian sect. And we see some disciples looking at the sky. And we see Wang Yang who is teaching Qingyao how to use a sword. But then he hears someone's voice and someone says, Lingjian sect's bastards, get out here! And Wang Yang thinks, the sect protection array is under attack again? And Yi Linlang says, husband, this visitor seems hostile. I fear. And Wang Yang says, don't worry, my dear. I'll see which fool dares to challenge us. And Qingyao says, who's the blind fool daring to cause trouble at the Lingjian sect? Grand Sect Master, allow me to tear that fool's filthy mouth apart. And Wang Yang says, this visitor seems hostile. Take care of Her Majesty. I'll be right back. Then we see two people attacking the barrier. And one is Minghui and the other is Hermit Tianquan. And Minghui says, you can't even break a simple sect barrier, what's the point of keeping you around? And Hermit Tianquan says, this so-called small-time Lingjian sect actually has such a troublesome formation. This doesn't seem like a third-rate sect at all. And then Wang Yang comes in front of them and he says, if none of you are supreme-level cultivators, don't waste your energy. And Hermit Tianquan says, where'd this brat come from? Be careful, or I'll wipe you and Lingjian sect off the map together. And Wang Yang says, my name is Wang Yang, Grand Sect Master of Lingjian sect. And Minghui hears Wang Yang's name and gets angry and says, Wang Yang? The one they call Heaven's Bane? You'll pay for my son's death. And Hermit Tianquan stops Minghui and says, don't act recklessly, cousin, leave this fool to me. And Wang Yang says, you're a nun, he's a Taoist, and Situeo's father is the Confucian sect master from Golden Pavilion Palace. Man, your relationship web is more tangled than a bird's nest. And hearing this, Hermit Tianquan gets angry and shouts, silence. You brat, I, Hermit Tianquan, will tear you to pieces today. And Wang Yang says, Hermit Tianquan? I think Lapdog Hermit suits you better. You'll die for this. And Hermit Tianquan attacks Wang Yang. But Wang Yang stops his attack by creating a barrier, and seeing this Hermit Tianquan thinks, what? He absorbed my sword technique effortlessly. Could this brat already be at the Supreme Realm? And Wang Yang says, I understand your grief, but perhaps we can resolve this matter peacefully. And Hermit Tianquan says to Minghui, cousin, maybe we should. And Minghui says, shut your mouth, you heartless fool. My son is dead. Today, I won't just wipe out the Lingjian sect. And Hermit Tianquan says I'll cripple that wenchie Lin Lang and make her marry my son in the underworld. And Wang Yang gets very angry now. And seeing this, the system becomes happy and she thinks, it's happening, it's happening. The host's killing intent is rising again. And Wang Yang takes out the sword and says, I always thought that leave no survivors was overkill in novels. But today, it seems absolutely necessary. And Hermit Tianquan says, what exactly are you planning to do? So Wang Yang says, what am I planning? Of course, I'm sending you all down to accompany Situao a family reunion, after all. And the system says the host has expressed a strong desire to help reunite loved ones. Awarding Saint Grade technique, 3 souls into God technique. Host, you've got a reward, shouldn't you check it out? And Wang Yang attacks and says, I'll deal with that after I send this foul-mouthed nun to the afterlife. And Wang Yang attacks Hermit Tianquan. And Hermit Tianquan tries to stop Wang Yang's attack, but it makes no difference, and Hermit Tianquan gets injured because of Wang Yang's attack. And seeing this, Minghui gets shocked and she says, all these years, and you still haven't improved, you couldn't even beat a brat like this. And Hermit Tianquan says, cousin, if we want to kill him, we'll have to combine our swords. And they both do a merge attack on Wang Yang, water and fire unforgiving, thin blade fusion. And seeing this, Wang Yang gets a bit shocked and he thinks, wow, what shameless tactics, now they've pulled out some twisted lover's sword fusion combo. And the system says, host, why not try your new technique against them? And Wang Yang says, 3 souls into God technique. Isn't this just one chi transforms into 3 pure ones? Pretty much. Since they're playing 2-on-1, you can balance the odds with a righteous 3-on-2. He gently stroked his chin, chuckling. The 2 figures, one purple and one green, who were charging at him, also sensed something unusual. Then they saw Wang Yang's clones appearing all around them. Tian exclaimed in horror. What kind of demonic cultivation technique is this? Minghui was a bit calmer, but still shallow in her thinking. This must be a visual trick. There's only one real body, that's all. What's there to be afraid of? Wang Yang showed a fierce smile and swung his sword down. The Wang Yang on the left also attacked. The Wang Yang on the right also swung his sword. 3 attacks from 3 directions forced Minghui and Tianxin to struggle desperately to defend themselves. He gritted his teeth, barely withstanding the sword move. This sword technique has such immense power. Is he really at the supreme realm? Then Minghui's piercing scream was heard. Tianxin turned and saw she had been sent flying. Seeing Minghui vomit blood and fall, he rushed forward furiously. Cousin! After catching Minghui, Tianxin knew he couldn't win. So he began to negotiate. Daoist friend, you are magnanimous. Can you spare my life in exchange for my cousin's? But Minghui was still stubborn and bold. Shut up! Even if I become a ghost, I won't spare this beast. But Wang Yang wasn't in the mood to fight with them for long. He grimly stated, Sorry, today this venerable one is not in a good mood. All of you must die. Seeing the negotiation fail, Tianxin gritted his teeth and cursed. Don't push it too far. If that's how you want it, then today I'll fight you to the death. Then, like a desperate man, he shouted loudly and charged toward Wang Yang. I'll drag you to hell with me. The system beside him reminded. Host, please be careful. Wang Yang's face showed no expression as he looked at the old man. Is this sycophant really going to commit suicide? Tianxin dashed close. He covered his face with one hand, then turned around and mouthed silently to Minghui. Cousin, run! Seeing the situation turn bad, Minghui gritted her teeth and took out a talisman. She cursed inwardly, if I had known this, I wouldn't have used this useless man as a shield. Then a huge explosion occurred, shaking heaven and earth. A moment later, a cloud of white smoke was seen fleeing. Minghui finally understood. I should go seek Situ Sheng for help. At least that heartless fellow is a supreme expert. But before she finished thinking, a blow struck the back of her head. Minghui stared in astonishment at the chessboard appearing before her eyes. What kind of secret art is this? Wang Yang held a chess piece in his hand, chuckling mockingly. I already told you, none of you will escape today. She retreated in fear as if suppressed, while Wang Yang already stood behind her, sword ready. Blood splattered everywhere. Wang Yang struck her directly in the back. Before dying, Minghui still warned arrogantly. Then kill me. The Buddhist gate will not let you off. Just wait to descend into hell. Then she let out a weak cry and vanished. Wang Yang stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at her. Anyway, I've already offended the Confucians and the Taoists. What's one more sect? The spirit praised him non-stop. Lord Host is truly formidable. Alone, he dares confront the three religions, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. Only then did Wang Yang fully grasp everything. Angry, he grabbed the system and shook it. Listen, system, was all of this part of your arrangement too? The system, shaken dizzy, cried out in grievance. How could it be? How could this system scheme against you, Lord Host? This system has always supported you wholeheartedly. Seeing the system was sincere, Wang Yang put away his sword, his voice softening. That's good. Let's go back. Lin Lang and the others are probably worried. He landed on the ground. Lin Lang and Su Qingdao were already waiting. Lin Lang hurried forward, worried. Husband, are you all right? That scene just now was terrifying. Su Qingdao looked at Wang Yang returning unharmed, her heart full of admiration. The Supreme Sect Master is truly amazing. He defeated those unreasonable invaders again. He shook his head slowly. Those troubles were resolved with little effort. Nothing worth mentioning. At this moment, Wuya approached and asked, Supreme Sect Master, who exactly were those invaders? It was the ones who caused trouble yesterday, he explained. C2O and his mother, and they also brought a sycophant named Layman Tian. Wuya immediately froze in shock. What? It was that shining bright moon's Layman Tianshin. Then what should we do? Wang Yang stroked his chin. The name sounded strange to him. Shining bright moon. What sect is that? So we are recounted. Shining bright moon is a group of 4 like-minded individuals who cultivate in elegance. Their reputation is extremely prominent in the cultivation world of Dongao. After finishing, Wuya's face turned pale with fear. But Wang Yang felt nothing. He rubbed his chin bored and commented. Sounds like a senior citizens club. There's no threat at all. Hearing this, Wuya paused. This Supreme Sect Master might be unfathomable. Surely the remaining members of Shining Bright Moon won't dare cause trouble for our Lingian sect. A moment later, Wang Yang waved his hand reassuringly. Everyone, don't worry too much. Just cultivate diligently with the secret techniques and mental arts I've given you. This time, Wuya didn't hesitate. He clasped his hands urgently. We do cultivate diligently, but our Lingian sect is small. Spiritual energy is pitiably scarce. Even if we train every day, breakthroughs are difficult. Wang Yang crossed his arms, glanced at him, and made a shocking statement. You have a point. Why don't we find a large sect and directly seize their grotto heaven-blessed land? Wuya turned pale with fright. No! Absolutely not. Supreme Sect Master, a great sect war cannot happen. Once it begins, the Holy Lands will intervene. Wang Yang sighed. A great sect war really is troublesome. What I fear most is getting involved in karma. If it can't be ended, it's exhausting. If only there were another way. He seemed to be speaking to Wuya, but he was actually hinting at the system. The spirit smiled and spun a purple circle with its hand. Lord Host, what's so difficult? Leave it to this system. Having detected the host's intention to develop the sect, the system rewarded him with a purple mansion immortal stone. Wang Yang looked at the stone in surprise. What is the use of this purple mansion immortal stone? The system explained smugly. Just place the purple mansion immortal stone deep within the sect's spiritual vein, and it will elevate the spiritual vein's level, creating denser spiritual energy. Wuya stared at the stone, extremely curious. Supreme Sect Master, what kind of treasure is this? Wang Yang replied casually. Purple mansion immortal stone. It can enhance the quality of the Lingian sect's spiritual veins. Bai Fang heard this and exclaimed. What? The legendary purple mansion immortal stone? Even ancient great sects rarely possess such a treasure. Then Wang Yang flew up and thrust the stone directly into the ground of the Lingian sect. Bai Fang screamed in shock. Oh my God, Supreme Sect Master, what are you doing? After the purple mansion immortal stone was buried, countless purple rays spread out from deep underground. A powerful spiritual aura surged around it. Seeing the spiritual energy gathering, Lin Lang exclaimed, "Husband, you are truly mighty! The surrounding spiritual energy really has become denser." Su Qingdao was equally shocked. "I can't believe the Supreme Sect Master can transform a spiritual vein like this." Seeing the perfect moment, Wuya waved his hand and ordered loudly, "What are you standing around for? Sit down and cultivate." Bai Fang also shouted, "Hurry, take advantage of this opportunity and break through." All the disciples of the Lingian sect sat down to cultivate. Thanks to the Purple Mansion Immortal Stone, they broke through rapidly. I reached Foundation Establishment. I broke through to Foundation Establishment. I've cultivated to Golden Core. Lin Lang walked over and pulled Wang Yang's hand. "Husband, with such dense spiritual energy, why aren't you cultivating?" He took out the cultivation technique scroll from this morning. "Meditating is too slow. Dual cultivation is faster." Lin Lang blushed and hurriedly told him, "It's not evening yet. Put it away." Su Qingdao stood behind them, overhearing, and her heart stirred with an improper thought. "I also want to dual cultivate with the Supreme Sect Master." The next day, Wang Yang stretched on the bed. "Last night's dual cultivation was too intense. I almost couldn't get up." Lin Lang, having just woken up, immediately rushed over and hugged him. Wang Yang approached her as she was putting on makeup and placed his hand on her shoulder. "Why are you up so early?" Lin Lang looked back at him in confusion. "Today we visit my parents. Did you forget?" Wang Yang scratched his head and forced a smile. "You said we'd go home, right?" "How could I forget?" Lin Lang tidied his clothes for him. "Not long ago you eliminated 6 nations. The great prosperous dynasty is still unstable, and you need to return to power," he replied respectfully. "Moreover, many accumulated official matters still need to be handled. I'll leave everything to the empress, my wife, to arrange." He then checked his merit points. 6th stage Great Emperor Realm Merit Dharma Body. 2nd stage Imperial Monarch. Wang Yang was shocked. Why did my merit Dharma body lose so much?" The system explained. "Dear host, you've gone through several battles. It is normal for merit to be consumed. To restore or elevate your merit Dharma body, you must collect more merit." He seemed unconvinced. "There's consumption too? This mechanism is unreasonable," the system added. "Once the merit Dharma body reaches the Emperor Venerable Realm, it won't be troublesome anymore." Wang Yang had his own calculations. "It seems I need to stir up something big in the Great Prosperous Dynasty and earn more merit elsewhere." Chu Tian was kneeling respectfully. Chu Tian greets the old ancestor. Chu Tian frowned as he looked at the old man. What are these undying old men planning now? The old man finally spoke. "Last time, when the army marched to the Great Prosperous Dynasty, why didn't you command the battle properly? Why did you allow Lin Lung's body to be seized?" Chu Tian was startled and quickly admitted his fault. "This is Tian's fault. Please punish me, old ancestor." But the old man merely scoffed. "Punish you? I'm not your third uncle. I have no right to punish you." The old man stepped down from the throne and placed a hand on Chu Tian's shoulder. "Although we failed to obtain Lin Lung's body, we still must bring her back. She will serve as medicinal material to aid cultivation." Chu Tian hesitated, surprised. "Old ancestor, the Great Prosperous Dynasty has a powerful expert assisting them. Conquering them won't be easy." The old man frowned, voice sinking. "This time, I will personally make a move. I don't believe a small, nameless Lingian sect can protect the Great Prosperous Dynasty." Chu Tian, relieved, clasped his hands. "With old ancestor making a move, we will surely crush the Great Prosperous Dynasty and the Lingian sect." Spiritual energy swirled around the old man as he ordered. "Don't dawdle here. Gather the troops. We depart immediately." As Chu Tian left the hall, he secretly cursed, old and still greedy for beauty. He deceived the 2 prime ministers and 4 generals of the dynasty, making them lose all 1,200 taels. He sighed helplessly. "Now I have to personally lead the expedition. Where can I find someone? Looks like I can only go beg that person." Looking at the crowd ahead, someone asked doubtfully, "What exactly happened?" Why are so many people gathered there? Another person who knew the story explained. What? You don't know that Her Majesty the Empress and the National King have returned home? At this moment, Lin Lang and Wang Yang appeared. They sat on the palanquin, waving to the commoners below. The citizens shouted in unison. Long live our Emperor, long live! Long live the National Lord, long live! The notification board appeared again. Lord Host has received the reverence of the common people, gaining many merit points. The spirit, however, pouted on the side. Experts who reach the great Emperor realm can live for hundreds of thousands of years. How can it only be 1,000 years? Wang Yang gently explained. Ordinary people spend their lives busy earning a living. How could they know many secrets of the cultivation world? They finally arrived at the Grand Hall. The National Master immediately came out to greet them. Your Majesty has finally returned. Many matters are awaiting your decision. Lin Lang replied. That's right. The country cannot be without a ruler, not even for a single day. The military situation at the border is very urgent and cannot be delayed. She and he stepped onto the imperial seat. The grand ministers below all knelt down and shouted, Long live our Emperor, long live! Long live the National Lord, long live! Lin Lang sternly commanded, All ministers, rise. She immediately began addressing the accumulated affairs from the days she was absent. The flood in the southern prefecture requires immediate dispatch of relief workers. No delays, not even for a moment. Someone respectfully replied. Your servant obeys. Wang Yang, on the other hand, was unbelievably bored. So boring. When will this court session end? I really don't like going to work. A long while later, Lin Lang finally stood up and dismissed the court. All right, today's court session is dismissed. In his heart, he was overjoyed, cheering wildly. Finally, court is dismissed. Long live dismissal. Long live getting off work. Long live my beloved Empress. Wang Yang left the grand hall alone. The system immediately asked curiously, Lord Host, where are you going? He explained calmly. I have an appointment with the National Master to go to the heavenly prison to see Prime Minister Zhu Xian, who was captured last time. He secretly thought, if I can subdue that great Emperor Zhu Xian, I'll have another assistant. Seeing him arrive, the National Master respectfully saluted. Your humble servant greets Lord National Lord. Wang Yang clasped his hands behind his back. Dispense with the formalities, dispense with the formalities. The National Master led him into the prison. So this is the heavenly prison. It isn't far from the Imperial Palace. The prisoners, hearing noise, reached out their hands and shouted crazily. Someone's here! I heard it! And it's a girl! Let me out! I've been framed! The National Master explained. The heavenly prison holds many serious criminals. If anything happens, only Her Majesty can suppress them. The system looked at the scene, terrified, covering its ears, but still tried to act brave. This system isn't afraid. Just afraid of the dark. These ordinary people are locked up anyway. What's so scary? Another prisoner yelled desperately. Hey little brother, come here so I can love you real good. Wang Yang's expression darkened. He glared at him with murderous intent. Did I give you face? The prisoner screamed in fright. The National Master said, Lord National Lord, we've arrived. Wang Yang looked at the plaque, Heavenly Character Room Number 1. So she's imprisoned here. If it weren't for the magic treasure suppressing her realm, this prison couldn't contain her. They opened the prison door. Light streamed in. The National Master warned. Lord National Lord, Marshal General Zhu Xian's strength is not simple. You must be careful. Wang Yang nodded. It's fine. I can handle it. National Master, please attend to your duties. So he and the system went deeper. The spirit fearfully clutched its two braids. Wang Yang stood before Zhu Xian, who was unconscious and tied up like a sticky rice dumpling. He walked over to observe. He checked her breath. Still breathing. He pinched her. Still warm. He touched her chest gently. Still has a heartbeat. Just as he reached out again, Zhu Xian suddenly opened her eyes, glaring with fury and screaming. Let me go, you scoundrel! When I get out, I'll kill you! Wang Yang ignored her screams. He had his own thoughts. This spirit rhinoceros Zhu Xian is truly a beauty. What a pity she was led astray. The system flew over and suggested, "Host, although she uses vulgar language, you can totally retrain her." Wan stroked his chin. Retrain her, retrain her. That's also a good idea. He waved his hand, summoning a technique, Heavenly Seal Spirit Rhinoceros Great Art. Wan looked at the name. This must be the renamed Sacred Mental Art Scroll. Ignoring Zhu Xian's screams, Wang Yang continued thinking. Spirit Rhinoceros Control. Seal as Master. Seal as desired. When the seal disappears, the soul scatters, the spirit dissipates. According to the secret book, to control Zhu Xian, the original seal must be destroyed. A mark on his forehead glowed. He looked at her. Let me see where the seal controlling the spirit rhinoceros is hidden. In Wang Yang's eyes, Zhu Xian's figure appeared. He admired it. Truly a master. So it was hidden here. She cried and struggled. What do you want to do? Let me go. Wan held a packet of medicine like a hooligan, lifting her chin. Don't worry. Very soon you'll obediently listen to me. He quickly shoved 2 fingers into her mouth. Zhu Xian's eyes widened, she choked, crying out. Moments later, her eyes widened again, this time in agony. She screamed piercingly. Elsewhere, Ming Yang, tied to a wall, covered in blood, felt the seal on her body shake violently. Who in the world touched my seal? She lifted her head, face flushed with shyness and fury. Just then, Tianxin's voice interrupted her. Yun Menyang, how does it feel to be in the heavenly prison? Her smile disappeared. Tianxin stood before her. Is it comfortable? Yun Menyang regained her provocative smile and mocked him. Oh dear, isn't this the Xinhua emperor revered by the masses? Why have you deigned to enter the heavenly prison today? Tian ignored her sarcasm. What if I came to release you? Yun Menyang burst into uncontrollable laughter. The words of a nation stealer like you? If those can be believed, then even a snake knows how to climb a tree. If it weren't for regretting that ancient spirit rhinoceros, I'd have killed you long ago. Tian clenched his hand. Ming Yang screamed, writhing in pain, made worse because her hands were unusable. No! Stop! Please stop! Tian released his grip, voice calm. Can we talk properly now? Her pupils turned sinister. Zhu Xian has been stolen. As long as you help me kill that bastard, I will grant you freedom. Through pain, her voice was faint. Do you think I still have the ability to refuse? Satisfied, Tianxin left. Ming Yang leaned against the wall. That idiot Tianxin. He doesn't even have a tenth of his father's cunning. Once this venerable one gets out, I'll show you what I'm capable of. Elsewhere, Wang Yang clutched his head. Oh no! It seems I went too far. The original seal is destroyed, but I can't proceed using the old method. The system comforted him. Dear host, there are many ways to control the spirit rhinoceros. Why cling to ancient methods? Wang Yang's eyes brightened. That makes sense. Let me see. After flipping pages, he shouted, This seal looks good. Having found a new trick, he faced Zhu Xian. There may be a big commotion. Please endure it. The commotion was a cosmic-level explosion visible for hundreds of miles. What was that? The power is terrifying. Even Lin Lang stood up to look. That seems to be the direction of the heavenly prison. Did something happen? Wang Yang looked at the new product he created. So, is this a success? The system nodded. From the sound, it probably didn't fail. Zhu Xian opened her eyes slowly. She looked around blankly. Where is this? Who am I? Are you my master? Wang Yang stroked his chin proudly. It succeeded. This pink seal is truly miraculous. The system also cheered. Congratulations, Lord Host. The ancient spirit rhinoceros has recognized you as its master. Reward 3 Emperor-grade Spirit Origin Enlightenment Pills. It handed him the glowing pills. He couldn't wait. 1 pill can activate intelligence and raise her realm. Amazing. Must try it. He put a pill to her lips. She obediently swallowed. Her face flushed. Master, my body feels uncomfortable. Wang Yang nodded, approving. This enlightenment pill is truly effective. No retraining needed, she already calls me master. He muttered. The name Zhu Xian doesn't sound good. From now on I'll call you Xuanji. He performed a spell, heaven and earth without limit. Order of Qianyuan. Immortal binding chain, release. As soon as she was freed she fell, landing right on top of Wang Yang. Xuanji lay on him. The position was extremely ambiguous. The system smirked mischievously. Good show coming. Xuanji's face was crimson, her mind hazy as she hugged him tightly. Master! Xuanji can finally get close to you. Wang Yang trembled. What's wrong with you? Which step went wrong? The system explained. The lustful woman charm mark, once engraved on the soul, becomes extremely proactive. It cannot be engraved again for 100 years. Wang Yang shouted. What? What kind of ridiculous setting is this? Xuanji kept exploring his body, whispering. Master, my whole body feels very uncomfortable. Can you help me? Wang Yang glared at the little blue-haired spirit. You garbage system! Are you trying to harm me? The system retorted. My lord host, don't talk nonsense. You chose the soul charm mark yourself. At this moment, Lin Lang rushed in from outside. Husband, are you all right? In this situation, Wang Yang, even with 100 mouths, couldn't explain himself. He awkwardly pushed Xuanji away and stood frozen. Husband, what are you doing? My dear wife, this is a misunderstanding. Please listen to my explanation. After being rescued by Her Majesty the Empress, Wang Yang returned to the palace unharmed. Lin Lang, after listening, calmed down. I know I was busy with official duties just now and didn't care about your feelings. This is my fault. She spoke very gently. But if you truly wish it, I can arrange for servants to attend to you. But why did you go looking for a spirit puppet? To be honest, Wang Yang didn't know what to say. How could he even explain this? My wife, listen to me. It's not like that. At this moment, Lin Lang's master approached, her face completely red for some reason. She bowed and said, Your Majesty, this is all because your subordinate failed to notice. Had I known earlier, your subordinate would have brought the lord of the nation to my place. Wang Yang's jaw dropped. Grand Preceptor, please, at this point, don't cause trouble. Plus, the woman who caused him all this headache was standing right there. Master, calm down. Calm down. Wang Yang crossed his arms helplessly. Actually, I went to the heavenly prison to train Zhu Zai into becoming our combat force. I didn't expect a small incident to occur. The more Lin Lang thought, the more wrong her thoughts became. She took out a handkerchief and wiped her tears. I was truly too impetuous just now. I didn't expect my husband to sacrifice himself to this extent for the great Qing dynasty. Wang Yang let out a long sigh. All right, if you say so, then so be it. The Grand Preceptor then examined the white-haired woman for a moment and evaluated her. Indeed, it's miraculous. This Wuwanji is exactly like a real person, only her intelligence is lacking, and her emotions are not very stable. Wang Yang felt the same. The primordial enlightenment pill needs a recovery period. It'll be a while before she can use it again. But oh, I have it. There are 2 more white chess pieces. Let's see if they work. After thinking, he pulled out another pill, wanting to continue using it on Xuanji. Xuanji immediately received the wonderful effects, her eyes widening. Then myriad flames surrounded her, making her gasp in shock. Master! What's wrong with me after all? Wang Yang sweated as she kept leaning close to him. Xuanji, you're making me feel a little pressured. Master, please. I'm sorry. The Grand Preceptor observed. This is a formation. Lin Lang nodded. The Protector Nation is under attack. The great Qing dynasty truly isn't peaceful, and there are 2 more powerful enemies attacking. Wang Yang, however, thought differently. No. It's 3 people. And their cultivation levels are all not below the high-level Great Emperor realm. Lin Lang was startled. She turned sharply. What? 3 high-level Great Emperor realm enemies are attacking? Wang Yang didn't answer. He simply extended his hand, conjured a long spear, and handed it to Xuanji. Xuanji, hold your Holy Grail spear tightly. Thank you, Master. Done with that, He immediately walked away. The two women followed him. Grand Preceptor, your realm is not enough. Please stay in the Imperial Palace. My wife, let's go teach these ignorant fools a lesson. All right, husband. The Grand Preceptor wanted to help, but feared her strength was insufficient. She could only accept her fate. May Her Majesty and the Lord of the nation be blessed with soaring martial might and return victorious. Before long, the three of them arrived at the location. Wang Yang greeted them first. All unfamiliar faces. Don't you know the great Qing dynasty is currently under my protection? In front of them stood three high-ranking individuals, one half-step supremacy realm, one peak great emperor realm, and another peak great emperor realm. Leading them was Chu Tianxin. He responded coldly. I don't care about your origin. Hand over Lin Lang quickly, and perhaps I will consider letting you keep your dog alive. Wang Yang chuckled. What did he say he wanted me to hand over? So it's the Shiren Yu Emperor Chu Tianxin, coming to the great Qing dynasty and still daring to call yourself Xin. I see you're just a dog impersonating Xian. Your second and fourth generals have already been defeated by me. Are you here to die today? At this moment, even Manhwa spoke up. Young Master Wang Yang is both handsome and domineering. This concubine truly likes it. Ah. Chu Tian frowned. Shut up, you. Manhwa, who had been gazing at Wang Yang affectionately, suddenly felt a chill down her spine. That horrible pain emerged again. She immediately stopped talking, hugging her stomach and whimpering. Pain! Chu Tian, stop quickly! Chu Tian angrily snapped. Harlot! I brought you out not to seduce men. In a moment you go kill that Wang Yang. Otherwise, you won't have an easy life today. On the other side, Wang Yang asked the system beside him. System, what exactly is the secret of his jade pendant? It can actually control a peak great emperor realm cultivator, the system explained. It must be a soul control technique like the soul control art. This kind of cultivation technique is very common in the cultivation world. Manhwa seemed to have figured out a new plan. She loudly called out. Young master, you just saw it. This concubine is also forced. Later, when you strike, remember to be gentle. Before Wang Yang could react, Lin Lang stepped forward and wanted to kick Manhwa. Harlot! Where did this vixen come from? Truly shameless. Stay away from my husband or I will tear you into 10,000 pieces. Manhwa smiled brightly, eyes squinting. Sister Lin Lang, why be so agitated? This concubine will be gentle later and absolutely won't let your husband get hurt. The old ancestor Shiren Yu, however, had no interest in joking. What time is it now? Still dallying here? Quickly capture the empress and bring her back so this old ancestor can refine her into a cauldron furnace. He lunged at Wang Yang with his massive hand. But before he could touch even a strand of Wang Yang's hair, Shuwanji had already blocked him with her long spear. Dark iron nether palm. Dark nether giant palm. At some unknown point, she had appeared behind Wang Yang, releasing her threads. Young master, where are you looking? Your opponent is this concubine. She moved swiftly, using her thread-like attacks. Wang Yang grabbed them with his sword. Manhwa smiled. Caught you. Wang Yang was surprised. Why can't these fabric strips be cut? And what are these petals? Manhwa's voice grew more enchanting. Come here, young master. Let's enter our own world. Both vanished instantly, leaving behind drifting petals. Shuwanji and Lin Lang widened their eyes. Husband! Wang Yang was brought to a strange place. These petals were unusual. Surrounding him wasn't a dark, damp prison but a beautiful spring-like garden. Is this a formation or a dimension? Manhwa floated toward him. I didn't expect young master to be so calm. Her entire body was wrapped in petals, her face flushed. You're so handsome it makes my heart ache. I truly want to turn you into a docile puppet. Wang Yang remained unmoved. He drew his sword. Turn me into a puppet? No one in the 4 seas and 8 deserts can do that. What kind of formation is this? I must find the formation Manhwa smiled again. Why does young master not like this place? I specially prepared this for you. She sent gusts of petal-filled wind toward him. Once you're here, don't think about leaving. I am the master of this small dimension. I can easily erase everything. Wang Yang repeated her words, frowning. Can easily erase everything, not necessarily. He struck immediately. Heavenly Evolution 9 Tribulation Sword, Circle Heaven Slash. Manhwa was unprepared and struggled to dodge. Cloudling Illusion Art. A massive explosion tore through the space around them. She warned him again. Once you're here, don't think about leaving. I am the master. Wang Yang smiled, gripping his sword. Ever considered that I might be stronger than even Supremacy Realm experts? Looks like the Way of Rush helped me resist your influence. At this moment, the system appeared like a kind god. My Lord Host, please be gentle. Although this small dimension is just a fragment, if completely destroyed, we will drift endlessly in the void. Wang Yang nearly jumped. So troublesome. I knew I should have killed Manhwa first. Outside, Xuanji and the old ancestor were fighting fiercely. She screamed as if ready to bury the world with her. If young master vanishes, quickly! Release my master! The old ancestor smirked. When he comes out, he'll be a corpse. In this small dimension, even ordinary Supremacy Realm cultivators would die. Xuanji charged. Old man, shut up! Starry Sky Spear Art, Fiery Meteor. Dark Evil Nether Palm. Dark Palm Teleportation. The old ancestor dodged, shocked. Isn't she a spirit puppet? How can her cultivation rise by 2 whole realms? Chu Tian commented smugly. Ju Zhen, your cultivation improving even now is surprising. Xuanji frowned. What Ju Zhen? My name is Wawanji now. Chunhin's ears itched. He ordered his ally Old Ming. No need to hold back. Teach her a proper lesson. Furuin, the old ancestor, quickly agreed. Since when did I, this old man, take orders from you, Chunhin? If the Great Elder hadn't kept you for your value, I would have slapped you twice long ago. Lin Lang also drew her dagger. She wanted to fight too. Shudianshin, where did that woman take my husband? If anything happens to him, you and I are not done. Shudianshin remained upright, his eyes showing no fear, his lips still curved upward. Are you talking about Wang? He has fallen into a life-and-death tribulation that is nearly impossible to escape. No one has ever survived coming out of any Yunyang's dimension. I didn't expect the Empress of Great Xing, who is attacking the barbarian tribe, to also possess such beauty. If it weren't for the ancestor's command, Jean would truly want to take her into the harem. Without further ado, Lin Lang charged forward. You go to hell. However, to Chu Tian, this was merely showing off a slight skill before an expert. My beauty, don't you feel that the gap between your realm and Jin's is too large? It seems Jean will have to personally teach you a lesson. Otherwise, with such a strong temper, I'm afraid you'll displease the ancestor. At the same time, inside the secret realm, the two were still fighting. This concubine is very curious about one thing. How exactly did you erase it? Mian asked, tilting her head. Wang said leisurely with his arms crossed. I broke that low-grade toy almost effortlessly. It only took a single breath. Mian was dizzy hearing that, completely unable to believe it. How? How can this be? This concubine spent a full 100 years to make Ju Zhen a spiritual image back then. But she quickly regained her cunning expression, wanting to discuss a deal. Since you can easily erase the mark on the child, then there is an opportunity for cooperation between us. Wang sensed immense danger. Cooperation? Aren't we enemies? Are you joking? What exactly does my yin-yang want to do? Mian placed her hands behind her back, and the ropes binding her fell off one by one. As long as Brother Wang can solve this unspeakable suffering and help this concubine break the restriction that Chu Tian placed on me, this concubine is willing to offer everything. Before long, everything had fallen off, leaving Wang stunned. This doesn't seem right. The system beside him blushed like a tomato. How can this be? Isn't this too inappropriate for children? Inside, the scenery was beautiful. Outside, the battle was chaotic. I say, great beauty ye, it's best if you surrender obediently. Chu Tian mocked. Lest you suffer pain and suffering, don't even dream of it. Just as they were speaking, a rift opened in midair. Miyun emerged from it. Shudianshin immediately looked at her. Seeing that she came out alone, Linlung's heart shattered. She clutched her chest, about to scream. Chu Tian smiled smugly, clearly gloating that Wang Yang had failed. No one has ever survived coming out of any Yin Yang's dimension. Xuanji felt as if hearing the end of the world. Her face went blank, drenched in cold sweat. What? Master, has he failed? Mian paid no mind to the two distressed women. She turned to Shudianshan. Kaianshan, I have dealt with the big trouble. Now it's time for you to fulfill your promise. As expected, that shameless fellow immediately went back on his word. Promise? What promise? How can Jean remember making any promise to you? But even though she knew the outcome, Ma Yunyang still hated him. Chunhin, you are truly a scoundrel, daring to go back on your word. Shudianshan smiled coldly. You are just a dog of Zen. How can you be qualified to negotiate terms with me? The very next second, at the moment he least expected it, a sword pierced through his body. His eyes widened to their fullest extent. Pain spread through him. He stiffly turned his head, and when he saw who wielded the sword, his face turned pale. You too, dog man and dog woman, truly despicable. Wang Yang raised an eyebrow with a teasing sneer. Using despicable methods to deal with a scoundrel like you is perfectly reasonable. Then he pulled the sword from Chu Tian's body. You repeatedly sent people to harass my wife. Just now that sword strike can be considered a favor to you. Chu Tian clutched his chest, his entire body covered in blood, struggling to breathe. Wang Yang, you actually dared to harm Jean to this extent. What technique did he use? How did he approach without me noticing? If Jean weren't born with a unique heart, I'd already be dead. Lin Lang rushed to Wang's side, grabbing his arm. Husband, you suddenly disappeared. I was so worried. That woman didn't do anything to you, did she? If she harmed my husband, I won't spare her. Wang Yang suddenly smiled brightly. No, that kind of garbage dimension couldn't possibly imprison your husband. Don't worry. Everything is under my control. Recalling everything he shouldn't have seen inside the secret realm, Wang Yang chuckled. This seems a bit too open. He stared so intensely that the system had to remind him. My lord host, please maintain some dignity. Mian turned around, revealing the mark on her back. This concubine was originally royalty of the Shuren Yu dynasty. But I was conspired against by the Chu family's ancestor. Not only was I sealed and made captive under their control, everything was stolen by the Chu family. Hearing this interesting story, Wang Yang was intrigued. So Chu Tian is a rebellious traitor. How interesting. But if I help you remove the imprint, what benefit do I gain? Mian blushed and turned her head away shyly, brushing aside her bangs. As long as you can remove the imprint controlling this concubine, everything of this concubine will be yours. Wang Yang smirked and lunged forward. Then I'll have to be a bit rude. Come on, 10,000 solutions, drag a claw hand. Finally it was done. The system jumped joyfully. Congratulations, Lord Host, for helping someone remove an imprint and obtaining the holy grade cultivation technique Taisu Wu Xingju. Wang Yang smiled. Another new cultivation technique. This system is truly diligent. He looked at a series of numbers on the panel and frowned. I thought it would be a body transformation technique, but it's just invisibility. The system crossed its arms. No, Lord Host. After casting Taisu Wu Xingju, no one besides a saint can detect you, nor can they attack you while invisible. Sounds good. Then let's give the Shuren Yu Emperor a scare. Wang Yang turned to Lin Lang, and froze. Wait, wife, why are your clothes torn? His eyebrows furrowed tightly, murderous intent rising. Good for you, Chu Tian, you dared lay hands on my wife? Just wait. I'll kill you myself. Chu Tian, despite his injuries, still spoke defiantly. Wang Yang, you should have beheaded Jean with one strike. What a pity. Jean will show you the power of the Chu family. He swallowed a pill and immediately shot into the sky. Peak Great Emperor. Half-step supremacy. In heaven and earth, Jean is the most honorable. Who dares contend? Wang Yang only found it amusing. A useless man who relies on drugs dares act arrogant before this lord? Both sides stood ready to fight, either willing to yield. Wang Yang swung his sword, unleashing a powerful gust of wind. Chuyan retaliated as well, striking out with a golden palm. Two mighty forces, one green, one gold, collided, creating overwhelming pressure. Standing behind Chu Tian's powerful force, Wang Yang was completely engulfed. He was pushed back violently, his clothes flapping wildly. Yin Lang exclaimed in shock. How can this be? Husband, where is he after all? Chuyan laughed loudly, mocking. I thought you were quite capable, but you couldn't even block one move. Truly a useless person. Suddenly, a gentle voice rose behind him. Do you really think one move could resolve me? You're so naive. I truly don't know how you managed to crawl to this position. It was none other than Wang Yang. Appearing from somewhere, he ambushed Shu Tianxian from behind. Rising into the air, he unleashed a technique. Thousands of golden lights enveloped him. Chu Tian couldn't withstand the blow. His eyes widened as he spat out blood. Seeing it wasn't enough, Wang Yang delivered another kick directly to Chu Tian's back, sending him flying. He crashed forward, blood pouring continuously from his mouth. Not giving him a chance to retaliate, Wang Yang flew beside him, stared him down, and mocked. Qianxin, weren't you very arrogant just now? A half-step supremacy. Why do you look like a dead dog? Without hesitation, Wang Yang swung his sword and cut off Chu Tian's right arm. Chu Tian, unable to think, used his remaining hand to clutch his severed shoulder. Blood poured endlessly as he gasped, gathering his last strength to shout. Old Ming, quick, come save me! Old Ming was still grappling with Wanji nearby. Hearing Chuqian's desperate call, he turned and saw his miserable state. This useless Shu Tianxian. No, I can't leave him unattended. He struck Wanji with a swift, heavy blow, too fast for her to defend. She took the full force and was sent flying. Old Ming seized the chance and flew directly to Chuyan's side. I must follow him, otherwise the old ancestors' arrangements will be wasted. Now, Wang Yang stood before the kneeling Chu Tian. Chu Tian could only tremble. You who provoke this lord again and again, remember to be a good person in your next life. Wang Yang didn't hesitate. He swung his sword downward, ending Chu Tian's life with one fatal blow. Old Ming's large purple hand reached out to catch him, but it was too late. Chu Tian had already breathed his last. Old Ming froze, shocked and completely panicked. It's over. How am I going to explain this to the old ancestor now? He glared at Wang Yang with hatred. Wang Yang, do you know you just killed the emperor of the Shurien Yu dynasty? Wang Yang stepped toward him fearlessly, sneering. So what if he's an emperor? Those who provoke this lord deserve this end. Besides, his emperorship was stolen. I am merely acting on behalf of heaven. Old Ming trembled, provoked to rage. His eyes turned white, and his hair rose wildly as if blown by a storm. Young brat, don't be too arrogant. The background of our Chu family is not something you can fathom. Wang Yang swung his sword without hesitation. Then today, this lord must test the depth of your Chu family's shallow pool. The two flew toward one another, their auras overwhelming. Old Ming raised his hand to his chest, spiritual power erupting. Arrogant young brat! Today, this old man will crush you to avenge Shu Tianxian. Yet deep inside, fear flickered. What realm is this Wang Yang? That brat Chuqian was crushed like an insect. Wang Yang, fearless as ever, summoned a massive golden dragon. He placed his hand before his mouth. The system confirmed, Great Emperor Realm Level 6 Level 9. Old Ming remembered the old ancestor's instructions, flashback. Old Ming knelt. Old ancestor, must I personally go capturing Lang and that brat Chu Linqian? The great Qing dynasty only has a few great emperors. Moonlight shone over the one-eyed ancestor. Are you hoping I will personally capture that harlot? Old Ming trembled. Old ancestor, calm your anger. Your subordinate will go immediately. I'll urge Shu Tian to bring Yilin Lang back quickly. A breeze rustled his robes. Remember, Yilin Lang has a natural phoenix sacred body. With her, I can break through and extend my lifespan. The night is long and full of dreams. Go. No matter what happens, you must protect Chu Tian and bring him back. Channeling his power, Old Ming calculated silently. Staying here is too risky. Returning means survival. Once that old monster dies, I will lead the Chu family. Old Ming unleashed his strongest technique. Black flame nether palm, cloud parting wave, striking directly at Wang Yang. Wang Yang smiled, unfazed, standing firmly to receive it. This lord wants to see what skills you possess, dying old man. The attack exploded, filling the area with black smoke. The system waved its hand. Damn it! My vision is obscured. This old man is too cunning. Wang Yang, calm and confident, said, Don't worry. He can't escape. The system urged. This is your chance. Escape before he reacts. Wang Yang smirked, making a few gestures. Finally, I've caught you. Let's see where else you can hide. Indeed, the fish had entered the net. Old ancestor Shuren Yu emerged furious, revealing his true form. Brat, you are truly cunning. You used every means to kill this old man. Wang Yang almost laughed. Used every means? Don't be narcissistic. You're not worthy of seeing this lord's real skills. Half-step supremacy first stage. Lin Lang watched, eyes wide. No way. Is this the might of the supremacy realm? Only Miyun watched calmly with folded arms. What's so strange? A small border nation. As an empress, she truly lacks understanding. Wiping her lips, she thought secretly. What's wrong with that old man? He actually forced a breakthrough into the supremacy realm. Anyway, now that the charm mark is gone, should I run away? The system reappeared. My lord host, he is now supremacy realm. Do you need help? No need, Wang Yang replied. He forcefully broke through by destroying his cultivation roots. He's far from a true supremacy. Shuren Yu roared, hair standing on end, body glowing red and black. Brat! Even if I gamble everything today, I'll drag you to hell. Xuanji stood ready with her long spear. As long as I'm here, don't even think of taking one step toward master. Wang glanced at her. This old man is crazy. You'll be hurt fighting him. But Xuanji still hasn't defeated any enemy for master. Wang Yang walked over and gently patted her head. It's all right. Xuanji has done her best today. I'll handle this old man. Go down. Yes, master. Once she left, Wang Yang turned back and smiled coldly. Old man, stop howling. Come here and die. Shuren Yu stepped forward, trembling with fury. Arrogant brat, this old man wants to see how you withstand a full-force blow from the supremacy realm. A palm strike descended. Lin Lang screamed when she saw it. Husband! The old ancestor raised his brows, gloating. One palm strike and only remnants remain. This is the difference between realms. Do you understand now? Unexpectedly, in the next moment, Wang Yang was already behind him, smirking. Almost dead, and still no caution. Truly a fool. A blade pierced straight through his chest. Chu Tian stared in disbelief. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Wang Yang hovered above him, expression cold. What kind of technique? You're not worthy of knowing. After finishing him, the two women rushed forward in panic. Husband, was that move really okay just now? I broke out in a cold sweat watching it. Master, let Xuanji check your body. Wang Yang was happy to be fussed over, but still waved them off. It's fine. Don't make a fuss. How could I possibly be injured? Mi Yunyan stood farther away, not approaching, secretly evaluating him. Young Master Wang Yang is both handsome and terrifyingly powerful. His strength is unfathomable. He'd make an excellent backing. Just as Wang Yang was about to leave, the system suddenly shouted. My lord host, don't be in such a hurry. Your mission reward hasn't been fully calculated yet. Wang Yang raised a brow. Reward? Didn't you already calculate it? Is it that time of the month again? Shut up. You're the one who has a period, the system snapped. But it does seem like it's coming soon. This system feels the same as last time. Wang Yang frowned. Is the reward fragments of the heavenly Tao? A green jade orb materialized. The system spirit hugged it excitedly. Excellent, Lord Host, we've obtained the second heavenly Tao fragment. Place it down and check for changes. It urged. Wang Yang sighed. Is there anything in this world you don't know? The system scratched its head shyly. Well, this is the heavenly Tao, the rules that create this world. It belongs to the supreme existence. This system hasn't unlocked all permissions yet, so I'm not omniscient and omnipotent. Not omniscient and omnipotent. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have been fooled by you. Wang Yang muttered, placing the jade orb. The ground lit up instantly. Wang Yang received a buff, Way of Concealment, Inferior 9th grade. Realm, Great Emperor, 9th tier peak. The system jumped around joyfully. Long live! Congratulations to the host for leveling up again. Congratulations on stepping further into the heavenly Tao. Wang Yang nodded, satisfied. Finally reached Great Emperor peak. But Way of Concealment sounds silly. The system puffed up. Lord Host, it's not what you think. Activating it can hide your true strength, so even saints can't detect you. Wang Yang's eyes lit up. Oh? A feigned weakness technique. I can pretend to be a weak little chick who just entered Foundation establishment to bully others. Interesting. He turned and patted Xuanji's head. Xuanji, strip those two unlucky fellows of everything they have. I'll reward you later. Yes, master. Lin Lang looked worried. Husband, that battle was so fierce, you weren't hurt, right? How could I be? Crushing them was as easy as flipping my hand. Another Lin Lang suddenly appeared, but from her gestures, one could tell which was the real one. Brother Wang Yang, I was so worried. I didn't expect you to be so handsome and brave. You made my heart flutter. Lin Lang instantly pushed Mi Yin Yang away. Stay away from my husband, Sister Lin Lang. Why are you so nervous? Don't you trust your husband? Stop acting, Mi Yin Yang. Don't think no one sees through your schemes. Mi Yin Yang blinked innocently. I didn't expect my sister to be so clever. I really did intend to offer myself to repay brother's life-saving grace. The air crackled between them, fire and water, destined to clash. You vixen! Lin Lang snapped. If you dare touch a single hair on my husband, I'll tear you apart. Sister Lin Lang, do you want to fight? I am now a great emperor 8th stage. Enough, Wang Yang said, feeling a migraine forming. If I stay, the ox and the flies will die together. Women arguing were truly terrifying. He began quietly retreating. My lord host, the system snickered. You actually have days like this. As soon as he turned, Xuanji ran over with her arms full of loot. Master! I stripped them of everything valuable. Wang Yang took the items, and frowned. Why is the Shiryu dynasty so poor? Only this broken book is holy grade. Everything else is garbage emperor grade. Xuanji, take these things back to the Spirit Sword sect. Yes, master. Outside, civilians chatted. Have you heard? The Shiryu emperor was defeated by our great Xing. Our queen issued a great amnesty this morning. Will Shiryu retaliate? Retaliate? With our national lord being peerless under heaven? They should be the ones afraid. Back inside, the four sat like a council. Mi Yin Yang crossed her legs lazily. Brother Wang Yang, what exactly did I do wrong for you to guard against me like this? Lin Lang cut her off sharply. Right now you're still a suspect. You trespassed into Great Xing. If you refuse to confess, you'll sit in prison for life. Mi Yin Yang didn't even blink. Sister Lin Lang, are you looking for revenge? I'm stubborn, you know. Lin Lang turned to her husband. Husband, what do you think? Miss me, I think you should cooperate. Mi Yin Yang shrugged with a playful smile. Brother Wang Yang, I didn't expect you to be so good at playing. Whether it's the heavenly prison or the Samura dimension, I can accompany you. Wang Yang coughed awkwardly and handed something to Lin Lang. Miss me, please maintain some dignity. Mi Yin Yang rested her chin on her hand. Someone like Wang Yang really doesn't understand hints. Fine. Ask whatever you want. I'll answer everything. Lin Lang asked first. You're a descendant of the Shiryu royal family. How did the Chu family seize your throne? Mi Yin Yang's eyes sharpened with deep hatred. 600 years ago, I was cultivating outside. My imperial father took in the wandering Chu family. Within 100 years, they seized the court, bewitched my father, and tried to marry me to that disgusting Chu Tian. Her voice trembled with fury. At the engagement banquet, the Chu family's old ancestor and elders attacked together. They killed my father and imprisoned me. Then they stole the entire Shiryu dynasty. Wang Yang rested his chin thoughtfully. These two father and daughter were too careless, letting their home be stolen, then forced into a bloody wedding. So the Chu family is that vile. You must know a lot about them. What is their current strength? Wang Yang smirked. Thanks to you killing Chu Tian and Chu Shiming, half their top experts are gone. Only Chu Shiren and that undying old man remain. Their strength isn't much higher than Chu Shuxuan's. Before Wang Yang could respond, Lin Lang crossed her arms and declared, if only 2 old men are left, then we should eliminate them directly. Wang Yang stared at her, stunned. My dear wife, reconsider. Eliminating the Chu family was one thing, but wiping out 9 generations was exhausting. Missing even one could cause endless trouble. Lin Lang suddenly stood upright like a general. I have decided. Summon everyone and pass my decree. Confer the Lord of the Nation as the Grand Marshal of the Heavenly Army, choose a date to ascend the altar, honor him as general, and begin the expedition toward the Shiren Yu dynasty. Wang Yang choked. Battle-crazed empress. How did eliminating the Chu family turn into invading a nation? Wang Yang wiped fake tears. Brother Wang Yang is truly too mighty, launching a war of national extermination for my sake. I'm so moved. Shut up. Wang Yang barked. Stop interrupting. She looked at Lin Lang. Then thank you, Empress sister. Lin Lang smiled faintly, but behind that smile lay a double meaning. I will definitely flatten the Shiren Yu dynasty, and cut off all the dreams of a vixen like you. But Manhwa was not someone who could be dealt with so easily. After eliminating the Chu family and reclaiming the dynasty, this concubine will offer the entire nation to Brother Wang Yang. Then we will stand on equal footing. Meanwhile, the man being fought over by 2 women was calmly drinking tea and musing to himself. All right, after eliminating the Chu family and leveling the Shiren Yu dynasty, I'll probably be able to take a long vacation. This time, there's a good show to watch. Wang Yang leaned back in his chair. Can't we wait a few more days before attacking the Shiren Yu dynasty? We're still on our honeymoon. Lin Lang heard his silent grumbling and smiled. What honeymoon? Where in the 4 seas and 8 deserts is that kind of treasure? Shooting just died, and the Shiren Yu dynasty is surely in chaos. If we don't attack now, when will we? She clapped her hands. You too, quickly help the Lord of the Nation change his clothes. Don't miss the auspicious time for the grand military ceremony. Yes, Your Majesty. Wang Yang cried internally, desperately clutching his last hope. Empress wife, I have social anxiety. Can I not participate? No. Later, you'll be appointed Grand Marshal, commanding the armies of the world. Shiren Yu Imperial Capital. The Grand Prince has long assisted the Emperor in managing court affairs and is most suitable to inherit the throne. The nation is in crisis. Pass the throne to the strong. Voices rose one after another. The hall erupted. Grand Chancellor, the Grand Prince is your disciple, intelligent and calm. Shouldn't you support him? But the second prince, also your disciple, is wise and decisive. Chuan, listening from above, was irritated. A bunch of idiots. The Shiren Yu situation is unclear, and you dare pick sides now? Seeking your own death. A cold voice cut through the chaos. What's all this noise? I am the true master of Shiren Yu. The crowd fell silent in shock. How can it be him? Dan Yu? Chu Tianda stood on the high platform, declaring loudly. Everyone, listen carefully. Prepare immediately for the grand enthronement ceremony. He seized power swiftly, but none of the officials agreed. Chu Tianda, you are merely the son of the 7th concubine. You have no right to covet the throne. Get down immediately. Chu Shiran sat beside him as someone asked. Old ancestor, how should we deal with them? Kill them all. His eyes turned terrifyingly dark. A wave of death flickered within them. The next moment, those who opposed him suddenly vomited blood and collapsed. Silence. Total silence. Chu Tianda sat lazily on the platform and spoke. I sit here. Who supports? Who opposes? Great Qing dynasty. Long live our emperor! 10,000 years! Long live the Lord of the Nation! 1,000 years! Wang Yang and Lin Lang walked through the cheering crowd. Su Qingdao was present as well, frowning thoughtfully. I heard the Grand Sect Master was promoted again. The Spirit Sword Sect's status has risen greatly. I wonder if the Sect Master will take me on this expedition. Shi Yan followed, smiling affectionately. Master looks even more handsome today than yesterday. But Manhwa was annoyed. All the glory was stolen by Lin Lang. Truly no fun at all. The Grand Preceptor raised his hands. The auspicious hour has arrived. Begin the heaven-worshipping ceremony. Wang Yang sighed. How many more rounds will this take? Just finish it quickly. The heaven sacrifice is complete, the Grand Preceptor proclaimed. Now announce the edict. Lin Lang declared loudly. First crime, regardless of international relations, invading the borders of Great Qing. Second crime, abusing power and oppressing the people. Then she turned, took Wang Yang's hand, her cheeks blooming like peach blossoms. Husband, it's all my fault. We just married, and already I must entrust such a heavy responsibility to you. I can hardly bear it. It's all right, it's all right. I'll go quickly and return quickly. We'll still have plenty of time for our honeymoon. Inside, Wang Yang was screaming, What a headache! They want me to declare an edict? What am I supposed to say? The system popped out kindly. Host, try this new AI assistant. It can help you solve all problems. Writing a 5,000-word oath in 1 second is not a problem. Wang Yang immediately exploded. Shut up. I want to rest, not be paralyzed, and 5,000 words. When will I finish reading that? The system shrank away. All right, my lord host. I'm disappearing now. Wang Yang coughed lightly and concluded. Therefore, without the Shiryu dynasty, life will be good. He raised the martial seal. Expedition. The soldiers roared. Exterminate the rebellious thieves. Level Shiryu. Shiryu dynasty, War Council. Jiuan knelt, reporting. Your Majesty, according to Frontline News, Great Qing has mobilized 200,000 troops led by Wang Yang to invade our borders. Chuanda scoffed. How naive, only 200,000, and they want to destroy Shiryu? Who gave them such confidence? Wan replied seriously. Your Majesty, though 200,000 troops are no concern, Wang Yang is a ruthless opponent, even the former emperor. Shut up. Since when is it your turn to judge? Chuanda snapped. Wan's face froze. Chuanda is even worse than the previous emperor. Shiryu is doomed, Chuanda waved dismissively. Since you are so loyal, I order you to lead 1 million brave soldiers and annihilate Great Qing's forces. He choked. What? You want me to fight Wang Yang? Great Qing military camp. Soldiers chatted cheerfully. I can't believe Great Qing is counterattacking. Too exciting. Yes. Thanks to our Lord of the Nation killing Chu Tianxin himself. Truly satisfying. After this battle, I'll return home and get married. Wang Yang sat cross-legged on the throne, annoyed. Managing food and supplies for 200,000 people is troublesome. It's easier to sneak in and kill the whole Chu family. The spirit system appeared, smiling. Host, since you want to manage the army, the invincible national war system is ready to activate. Wang Yang blinked. What? There's really such a silly system where you win just by clicking a mouse? The spirit beamed. Only the host can't imagine it. There's nothing the system can't do. The system interface lit up. Great Qing national strength, 500. Shiryu national strength, 3,000. Wang Yang glared. Dog system. I'm a peak great emperor. Why such disrespect? The spirit explained. War isn't decided by simple numbers. Many factors can change the tide. So where is this system invincible? Wang Yang demanded. The system includes real-time battlefield monitoring, intelligent marching support, rumor-based intelligence networks, and the National War Arsenal. Wang Yang froze. Wait. National War Arsenal? He pointed at the screen. What cannons? Can those be exchanged? The system hesitated. Host, do you really want cannons in a cultivation world? He rubbed his chin. System, give me some cannons to play with. The system covered its face. My dear host, this is a world of immortal heroes. Using cannons is too much of a cheat. Wang Yang snapped. Is your invincible system stable or not? Be flexible. Haha, one moment, my lord host. The system immediately dumped 100,000 national war points into his account. Wang Yang grinned. That's more like it. Let me see what fun toys we have. He looked at the item list. The Divine Fire and Ice Lightning Cannon. Only 1,000 points each. I'll take 50. But the design is ugly. System, add some illusion skins. No problem, my lord host. The system replied, while silently pitying the enemy. Shuren Yu military camp. A large eagle soared above the main encampment. Inside the marshal's tent, generals discussed nervously. The Great Qing dynasty's main force is only 10 miles away. According to scouts, they have just over 100,000 soldiers. Only that many? Not even enough for our 300,000 vanguard to swallow in one gulp. One general warned. General, the enemy is unclear. Wang Yang is among them. I suggest holding defensive lines and waiting for reinforcements. But the leading general scoffed. 300,000 against 100,000. The advantage is ours. No matter how strong Wang Yang is, he cannot kill us all. But General, the left general said, do not act rashly. The general smirked. One dynasty, one court. Shuren has long lost his authority. He raised his hand. Gao Yuan, general of Shuren Yu, give the order. The entire army advances. Annihilate the main force of Great Qing, then have lunch. For burly men beat the war drums. The Great Qing army marched in formation. Advance! They were confident in Wu Yang. I don't know, one soldier murmured. But surely the lord of the nation won't let us lose too badly. Su Qingdao looked at him with some worry. Sect master, the enemy army is attacking fiercely, and it's a 300,000 strong army. Are we sure we're going to win? He ate the fruit she fed him and comforted her. Don't worry. Everything is under control. He smiled contentedly. But this Gao Yuan is indeed very obedient. He mused, looking at the dense crowd of soldiers before him. They even directly paraded their entire army like that. Then I don't need to bother anymore. The spirit appeared, smiling flatteringly. My lord host's wisdom is unmatched. The system is also very much looking forward to the upcoming battle. A soldier ran up to report. General Chu, the enemy has completed their formation. He waved his hand and instructed. Good. First, have the archers snipe them. When they can't bear it anymore, the entire army will sally forth and annihilate these fools who don't know life from death. The archers advanced and fired countless arrows toward his grand army. A hurried voice rang out. Arrows incoming. Raise your shields. Raise your shields. A blue shield appeared in front of the soldiers, blocking all the arrows. He stroked his chin, pondering. Why are these new recruits panicking so much about defense? Fine, let's pretend to lose and trick them a little. Issue the order. Everyone retreat 100 paces. The soldiers hurriedly urged each other. Order from the front. Quickly retreat. Retreat now. Run. Gao Yuan excitedly ordered. Indeed, they can't bear it. Everyone heed the order. The entire army sallies forth. Trample Great Qing. Hearing the order, the grand army eagerly pursued. Kill! 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 Trample Great Qing! Wu Yang smiled sinisterly. These people are truly easy to fool. It's time to show them the brutality of war. Bring out my cannons. The soldiers of the Shuren Yu Empire stared in astonishment at a strange object that looked like a brass tube attached to a wheeled cart. What is that? A soldier raised a red flag, signaling. Load the talisman. A soldier affixed a yellow talisman to the cannon. Fire the cannon! The talisman emitted a dazzling golden light. A brilliant burst shot from the muzzle of the brass tube. The soldiers of the Shuren Yu Empire flinched in terror as a loud explosion erupted behind them. The terrifying blast was followed by piercing screams. Gao Yuan was startled and horrified. What kind of weapon is this? How can it be so powerful? Wu Yang smirked and ordered. Excellent. The enemy has disintegrated. Issue the order. The entire army advances. All artillery, focus on the enemy's rear line. Fire! The soldiers of Great Qing roared and charged. Kill them all! Gao Yuan angrily chopped down a terrified soldier who tried to flee. A bunch of useless fools! Stand your ground! No retreating! The cannons continued to fire. One cannonball aimed directly at Gao Yuan. His face twisted in terror. The cannon shells exploded with immense destructive power, cracking the ground. Gao Yuan was blasted into the air. A soldier lay motionless on the ground, his voice broken. This can't be. Wu Yang must have used some demonic art. Another loud explosion echoed. The soldiers' eyes filled with terror as they fled for their lives. Run! Run! Wu Yang rested his chin on his hand, watching the live feed of the battle. The opponent disintegrates so quickly, it's even easier than playing with those AIs before. Gao Yuan's portrait was suddenly crossed out on the screen. The cheerful voice of the spirit rang out. The opponent's main general, Gao Yuan, has died in battle. Congratulations to the host for achieving victory. The spirit smiled excitedly at him. Congratulations, my lord host, on your first victorious expedition. He blinked in surprise. So, that's a win. The spirit proudly boasted. Of course, this is the super strong national war system the system has created. When the enemy comes, they can only be crushed. He frowned, displeased. Then where's my national war reward system? You won't forget to issue my reward again, will you? The spirit laughed happily. How could I forget? The system has prepared a unique reward for you. He looked eagerly. This reward is excellent. Hurry, give it to me so I can try it now. Wait, my lord host. This is a great killing weapon. Meanwhile, the great Qing soldiers looked at the battlefield full of corpses, trembling. Indeed, the Lord of the Nation's talisman cannons are terrifyingly powerful. Luckily he's on our side. What are you standing there for? Quickly clear the battlefield. The prisoners trembled in fear. One must have colluded with evil forces from outside. Otherwise, how could such a terrifying weapon exist? Wu Xuanji angrily kicked him in the head. Shut your mouth. She stepped on him, threatening in a low voice. If I hear you babbling again, I'll bury all of you alive. She crossed her arms, watching the prisoners walk away, her face frustrated. It's truly not fun at all. The enemy was wiped out as soon as the battle began. There was no chance to even make a move. Wu Yang's voice rang out. Xuanji. Where are you? Come here quickly. She bloomed with joy. Yes, my lord. I'll be right there. She smiled excitedly. It seems Master hasn't forgotten me. Finally, I have a chance to show what I can do. She respectfully approached him. Master, are you preparing for the next battle? Please let me lead the way. He lay on a soft bed and waved his hand. Not necessary for now. I have a rather good magic treasure to give you. She turned her head away, looking unhappy. This magic treasure is so black and ugly, and it doesn't even feel as comfortable to use as a spear. He pointed in a direction. Do you see that cliff over there? Can you create that same effect? Not far away was a mountain full of deep holes blasted through its surface. She hesitated. If I'm standing here, I can't do it. He crossed his arms and smiled at her. Next time, just take that magic treasure and lead the way. Let me broaden my horizons. She brightened instantly. Really? That's great. I definitely won't disappoint, Master. She stroked her chin, pondering. Since it's a magic treasure given by Master, it must be very powerful. Meanwhile, the two subordinates beside Chuan looked at the reporting soldier in horror. How can this be? How can the entire army be annihilated? Even if 300,000 pigs were released, Wu Yang couldn't kill them all at once. It's too strange. Are you hiding something? The soldier trembled as he reported. Your subordinate truly isn't lying. A bright light suddenly flashed in the enemy's formation, and then we were all blown up. Men and horses fell everywhere. He angrily slapped the table. You didn't even see what weapon the enemy used. So how are we supposed to fight this battle? A great emperor realm patriarch from the four families looked at him with contempt. Are you this scared just because Wang Yang used a few strange magic treasures? Are we cultivators supposed to be terrified over something like that? He angrily shouted back. How dare you! War is not a game. You cultivators have no idea how deep this water is. The patriarch replied calmly. How deep? It's just a simple talisman explosion art. And yet you were utterly defeated. Talisman explosion arts can't attack in the air. As long as we fly up and use our ultimate moves and spells, we can annihilate them all. Xuan looked at them with hesitation. Is it really that simple? He smiled smugly. Do you not believe in the top cultivators of the Chu family? Xuan thought for a moment, then nodded. Very well. If you're that confident, then make a military pledge. He returned to the camp where the soldiers happily waved at each other. Suddenly, a notification rang from the monitoring screen. A large number of enemies are rapidly approaching. He rested a hand on Su Chinga's shoulder, frowning. These enemies, they're not moving like cultivators. Such Qing Dao looked at him nervously. What? Enemy attack? But why can't I sense anything? Wanji perked up eagerly. Master! Master! Let me go! Let me go! He smiled and nodded. Wanji, take the magic treasure from earlier and annihilate all invading enemies. 2 Chu family members floated into the air above the camp, searching the surroundings. No formation. No scouts either. These great Xing people are truly arrogant. So what if they're arrogant? I'll send them all to heaven in a moment. Wanji glared at them. Nameless, unranked, sacred-grade magic treasures. Master really guessed right. What exactly are you rats plotting? The enemies laughed at her with disdain. How laughable. The dignified Left General of Shuren Yu has surrendered to the enemy, yet she doesn't even have a proper weapon, and now she's waving that black thing around to scare people? If the Left General is willing to sacrifice herself and spend a night with us, we'll gladly exchange that thing for a beautiful magic treasure. Enraged, she activated the magic treasure he had given her. All of you, die for me. The Chu family members were suddenly pulled in by a powerful suction force. They looked at each other in horror, the urge to flee rising in their hearts. Run! Quickly! She stopped activating the treasure. The 2 family cultivators collapsed to the ground, unmoving. Carrying the treasure on her shoulder, she exhaled shakily. This magic treasure is too powerful. Its might is overwhelming, and it even auto-aims. In less than 50 breaths, it wiped out all the enemies. She beamed. Master's magic treasure is incredible. Another notification sounded. All elite enemy invaders have been eliminated. He smiled in satisfaction. Done in under 1 minute. As expected, science and technology truly are the #1 combat strength. The system spirit quickly flattered him. Congratulations, my lord host, for winning the elite national war battle. Rewards will be issued immediately. He raised his hand sharply. Wait. He smiled, feigning grandeur. Can the reward be a cosmic battleship? Preferably one capable of orbital bombardment. Turning the ground into a sea of fire. That's the true romance of men. The spirit gasped, waving its hands frantically. What are you saying? Something like that can't be manufactured unless the Lord Host can fully comprehend the rules of the heavenly Tao. He glanced at it with disdain. I thought you were omnipotent. Turns out you still need me after all. The spirit folded its arms, expression blank. In that case, I'll have to bring out the supreme treasure. He looked surprised. You actually have a supreme treasure? Hurry, let me see it. The spirit introduced it proudly. This is the system's most prized possession, the Myriad Soul Banner. He stroked his chin. It's all black, looks ugly. And there are even heads on it. The spirit coughed lightly. Fine. The underlying code is locked, so modifying its functions would be troublesome. I can only change its appearance and color. The flag turned white with a Tai Chi symbol. He stroked his chin again. This golden yellow style looks good. It suits my identity as a righteous figure. He held the banner. What's this human emperor banner used for? Is it like in novels, where it collects cultivators into the banner? The spirit answered seriously. Exactly. Within 3 breaths after death, all souls can be collected. The spirit stared as he immediately walked away. Wanji had just finished cleaning up when he approached, holding the banner. Master! Why are you here? Were you worried about me? He smiled. Yes. And I came to collect some loot. He planted the flag. A reddish glow shot into it. You unlucky souls, hurry up and enter the banner. She stared in disbelief. What kind of magic treasure is this? I can feel my soul trembling. Countless souls rose from the corpses, groaning. He watched the banner's suction force grow. The human emperor banner is just as terrifying as in the novels. I'll study it properly once we return. Outside the military tent, a soldier knelt and shouted. Report! All revered Chu family cultivators, all immortal cultivators, they have all perished. The generals were stupefied. All perished? How? How is that possible? How did they lose even faster than Gaon? Panic spread as they turned toward the man in the central seat. Right, General, what do we do now? Yes, Right, General, please give the order quickly. The Right General looked solemnly at the imperial edict. His Majesty commands us to send out the entire army. We must annihilate all forces of Great Qing. The generals exchanged fearful looks. This is madness. How can we defeat a monster like Wang Yang? The 4 great clans refused to send their strength. How can we possibly resist alone? The Right General rolled up the edict calmly. What else can we do? An imperial edict cannot be defied. Do not be discouraged. Reinforcements from the imperial capital, cultivators proficient in formations, are already on their way. Perhaps they can withstand the opponent's overbearing talisman cannon art. The next day, the armies of both nations stood facing each other. Before the battle began, he stood with his arms crossed, staring at the enemy lines. They've changed their commander, to that old fox Jivan. I must be serious, or I'll fall into his trap. Wangji gazed at the grand army. Master assigned me to guard the rear. He must have a reason. I won't let the enemy exploit any weakness. The Xian Yu Imperial Army surged forward. Charge! The great Qing Empire's grand cannons were ready. Fire! Explosions thundered through the battlefield. He stared at the monitoring screen, stunned. So persistent. Are they taking some kind of stimulant? Wait, I see. This is an illusion. That old man Jivan is truly cunning. He frowned and pressed the interface. Looks like I'll need to exchange for some high-tech equipment to break this stalemate. The spirit beamed flatteringly. My lord host is truly cunning. You even found a way to break this situation. Soldiers of Great Qing cried out as strange aircraft flew overhead. Look at the sky. What are those? They must be miraculous magic treasures bestowed by the lord of the nation. Blue rays shone down on the battlefield. Xian Yu soldiers panicked. What's happening? Our illusion has been exposed, and even our stealth technique isn't working. He frowned. So this is Chuan's method. I want to see how many trump cards you still have. Keep firing. Cannons roared continuously. Cannonballs struck a golden shield protecting the enemy. A soldier reported to the Right General. Xian Yu army in formation. The enemy's firepower is overwhelming. The formation masters are about to collapse. The Right General frowned. Tell them to hold on. He looked at the battlefield and issued an order. Tell them, I'm about to win. He smiled sinisterly. Excellent. A trap within a trap, and even a protective shield. Jivan, if you want to play, then I'll play with you to the very end.